2, 1. We are live.
Hello everybody, it's great to see you and I do hope that you are well. Welcome to the Monday Club, the greatest online live stream experience for UK and worldwide based model rail people.
It's very true. I had it tested.
Did you? I didn't. Okay, anyway, with us up in the loft here at Weir Yard, we've got Jonathan Newton, you might recognise from Hornby Magazine, also Newton Grove.
Yes.
And some amazing film chicanery that has been going on as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, because the last time I was here, which was almost about this time last year, actually.
It's been a while, actually, yeah. In fact, it predates any of the rebuild of the layout. So
it does, yeah.
I did ask him, I said, so how does it look?
Yeah, red is the word. It's looking
red.
Well, because of all the different.
It's just like there's one mountain that's red. Oh, we can't get it up on. I don't think it comes up on. No, that's the wrong camera.
You can't get it up.
No, there's a blue pill for that. But yes,
you can't get it up. Consult your physician.
Yeah, but it's been about a year since I was here last, and of course I was talking about the Tay Bridge Disaster and how I was going to start making film about that.
Yeah, because you were in the fundraising stage of that process.
Right. Yeah, so fundraising and pre-production, and since then, of course, well, everything we wanted to film has been filmed. So
everything's wrapped now. You've done all of the principal photography. You're just into the edit.
Yeah, so essentially what I wanted to be able to achieve to begin with was two versions. I wanted to do an extended trailer of what the feature film concept would be, which would have been a bit more of a bigger project. But then the main one was that 10-minute short film called The High Girders, all about the last two people at the signal box at the Tay Bridge and what they experienced just before the bridge fell. Now, we raised enough funds to make that short film. We didn't raise enough funds to do the rest of it, but that's okay because the short film, it's been a lot of fun to shoot. We filmed at the Keithley Valley Railway, so a huge shout out to all the guys there who helped with the production and the planning, especially Tom Marshall, the marketing guy over there. Thank you so much for the use of the railway. We shot in Demem's signal box for 3 nights. I feel sorry for my actors because they got very, very wet and cold.
I take it the weather was very British, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was cold. It wasn't windy, but the night of the Tay Bridge fell, it was very wet and very windy, and so we had a leaf blower out there next to the camera, blowing these guys with cold air because it was like 2 or 3 degrees at night. We had water in buckets, and so these guys were getting drenched and sodden. So Brandon and Richie, I love you both. You did an amazing job. So we shot 3 nights there, which is wonderful. We then shot 1 night at Vintage Carriage Trust. Huge shout out to VCT for letting us film there.
Oh, that was when we
yes, and of course
were
I had
extras.
Craig, Jen, and Zoe there. So thank you so much for you guys to come over and be a part of that. And that was wonderful because we had to get some interior shots for some of the old coaches. And then literally just last Monday night, which is why I couldn't be here last Monday, we filmed the last few things where we shot on. Well, some of you might know it as 957, others might know it as the Class 25, and its number right now is 52044. It's the LNY Class 25060 at the Worth Valley. Right. So we shot on that.
Is that a bit out of area for what would have been? Was it?
It is
British.
It is, but we haven't filmed the entire loco. We've just filmed things in the cab.
Right.
So and the engine's currently getting retubed as well. So we basically put some lights in the cab to make it look as if the fire was glowing. And I brought an actual Worth Valley crew in. We got them to pretend to be fire and pretend to be driving. So now that's all been filmed. It's all just about doing the edits, and I've been editing as I go. The rough cut's looking fantastic. We've been doing a lot of the CGI work to actually recreate the Tay Bridge and the storm effects and everything. Turning to AI to really use that, which has been incredible because the cinematic AI tools I'm using to recreate the bridge, you couldn't have done it 12 months ago. It's amazing what you can do now for such a wonderful cheap price. So we're now at that stage now where we are really coming into what I would say is sort of the last month of post-production, just getting all the final things done, and hopefully we'll have it ready to go by the end of February, early March, hopefully.
Excellent. Anyway, let us roll the intro, and does it come up on this button?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, the one that says intro.
Yeah, I know, but things get... But, yeah.
the Monday Club, your online model rail club for all the news, gossip, layout tours and more with your host, broadcaster and model maker, Jennifer Kirk.
So, welcome back. Just looking in the chat, we've got Ham Shackleton, Josh from Double M, Mr. Pal, Rick Morley, James Pett, we do approve, Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath, Flymer 1, Harry Sedgwick, Rick Morley, Iron Horse Railways, Warbler Productions, Valleys 56XX, Richard Swiderski, Richard Knowles, Summer Breeze Model Railway, Stefan Svensson, JL Railways, JK Hauser, RG Models 86, Jordan Hunter, Norton Hill, Nick Garolimo. It is great to see you all, and I hope you are well.
Could I get anyone a drink?
I'd like a top-up of Coke.
Tea?
I'd love a cup of tea.
Okay.
Oh, the monkey is on tea refilling duty. You are the bringer of tea, and I will also have a Coke as well. So,
I'm one of the PG Tips monkeys tonight.
yes, you are. Yeah. Do you know this piano's on my foot? No, but if you hum it, I'll play it.
Oh God.
Oh my word! So,
It's interesting. During the introduction, there was a comment there in the chat about how somebody was saying that they don't like using AI.
yeah.
I'll be very, very honest with you. I think that AI. I'm not a huge fan of AI either. But if you use AI as a tool, where it's like, rather than
Yeah.
a toy, from a filmmaking point of view, especially for low-budget films, whether they be feature films or short films, AI can really help to create what is also known as CGI or computer-generated
Yes.
images. So, in our particular instance, what we're doing is we're using real archival photographs of the Tay Bridge. And then what we do is we colorize them using AI because, number one, it's quick. And if you use the right prompt saying, don't change anything but colorize this, you get a wonderful colorized photograph.
And I think as well, also, it needs the oversight of a human being. And,
does.
and I think that's
Yeah.
where a lot of people are, I don't like AI. It's because somebody's generated something of, yeah, that'll do. And there's you end up with, with the seven-fingered man with three elbows and stuff.
Well, that's my uncle. Yeah, you know him. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing with AI, and I said this in one of my recent videos on my own channel. When it comes to prompting, you have to sort of put your director's hat on, and you have to put every little detail that you want and go, I want this and this, it has to look like this is the colour, this is the stars, whatever it might be. You have to be so specific, and then say generate, because otherwise it'll just throw out whatever it wants, and you're going to go, no, I don't want that because it's got 7 fingers and 3 legs.
You have to really, really order it about. Imagine it as being, it's like the thickest private in the army. They're very good as long as they're directed properly.
Yes. Absolutely.
And Zoe and I have found that we've been dabbling with music, and if you really ratchet down and specify everything, you can get some great results. But if you're quite wishy-washy with it, then it will just go off on one and do all sorts of weird stuff.
It's interesting. In the video that I made recently about AI, creating AI figures, I had somebody write to me saying, well, you can write a prompt, but I like to get AI to write my prompt. And I thought, but hang on, so you need to write a prompt manually saying, please write me an AI prompt. And then he uses the AI prompt to then create what he wants. And I think doing it that way is weird because you're putting every single part of your creativity in the hands of a computer. AI, I think, it's a wonderful thing. I mean, you've spoken about it, I've spoken about it, Craig has spoken about it, a lot of us have. But AI really comes down to if you take away the human element, the human creativity, then AI it's useless. It is just, there's no heart and soul in it whatsoever. If you rely upon AI to do everything for you without using your brain or without using any form of creativity, then I don't think it's worth the point. But if AI is used correctly for planning things out or a proposal, or in our case, filmmaking, a lot of filmmakers, even Hollywood studios these days, are turning to AI. If it's done properly with the human element in there, it's a tool, and I don't see the reason to not use it.
Yeah, a tool like anything else. Things like sat navs are a tool, but if you use them incorrectly, you end up turning into a river that your sat nav thinks is a road. There has to be a level of human intelligence involved.
I would love to see a sat nav where the voiceover has got a stutter. So at the next road to turn right to turn right to turn U-turn. I reckon that could be great.
I remember in the early days, my dad had one that you could upload novelty voices, and one of them was Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh God!
And if it lost signal from the satellite, it would do things like, "Sharon, I don't know where we are."
I remember there was a guy I used to know. He had a naughty version, which got him into trouble. But then he put a Homer Simpson one on, and I thought that was fantastic. It was like, "At the roundabout, turn right. You have reached your destination." And I used to love that. I mean, I miss the whole customized voices in sat navs, because these days everyone uses their phone, and everything now defaults to Siri in either English or Irish or whatever you've chosen. I don't think you can load custom voices onto your phone to do your sat nav, which is a shame, because if you had a TomTom, you could do all that stuff.
Yeah. Although saying that, Siri does have different options. On my phone, I didn't like the British English one, because it just sounded like this tosser who I didn't like. It's like, I'm sure I got bullied by this person at school. So I've actually ended up with the American Siri, because it's like, quite like it. I tried the Aussie one, but the Aussie one just sounded AI generated.
Yeah,
It didn't sound...
If you turn down the street to the right, you'll find your destination down there.
I hate it. I really hate it.
That's true.
You know?
Let's put a shrimp on the barbie.
Do you know, this might sound racist, and it's not meant to be. There is an option, especially on my iPhone, when you're changing your Siri voices, it can be Indian Siri. And
Is it like Apu from The Simpsons?
Yes, I didn't. I was expecting it to actually maybe be speaking in Punjab, but no, it's actually just you can go down the street and turn to the right. I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun. But you realise around certain people you can't play that, so you have to sort of...
You get in the car with a friend who's got Indian heritage, and you're like, oh, let me just turn this off.
There's a few accents that will never be on Siri. Like, for example, you'll never have Siri on GPS with a German accent. Take the third right! I know, sorry, bad joke. There's a few that will never get on Siri, especially I suppose in English Western.
I know a few sat nav jokes. I'll leave them until after we come off air.
I think that's a wise idea.
But Ham Shackleton says I had Diana Rigg on my old sat nav, and when I put in an address, she'd say you can't get there from here.
I like this one. An American trying to pronounce Welsh names. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, to be honest, English people trying to pronounce them. That always annoyed me when you'd be watching like BBC News 24, and it's like, dude, you're sat in this country and you're making a complete pig's ear of place names in your own country, and yet when you've got your correspondent on the phone from Kabul, you suddenly know how to pronounce all the middle of nowhere place names. What's that about? And it's like there's a mental block with Welsh place names.
Yes.
Rick Morley says Musselburgh Toy Fair near Edinburgh on the 31st of January. Often worth a look. What else we got? An American sat-nav, says RG Models, trying to pronounce... Oh, we just read that one out.
Yeah, I had a Homer on my TomTom, Darth Vader. I'd love to have had Gordon Ramsay. Ooh.
That would have been a bit
You missed
sweary.
the turn, you donut. That's wonderful. That is so cool.
Yeah, Josh from Double M says, I wish I could learn to speak Welsh. I'm English, but I've learned all the right Welsh pronunciations and trying my best. I never went.
Actually, it's actually very easy to speak Welsh. Rather than talking, you just sing everything with a slightly more high-pitched voice.
Well, as my mum would say, actually, the thing about Welsh is you've got to get it into your head that it's a different alphabet.
Yes.
And if you know the alphabet, then actually it's very, very simple.
But everything in Welsh is a question. Wouldn't you agree? Look at the valleys. How much? Sainsbury's. Look at my car.
Oh, that's lovely. Do you want a beer? A beer? Any news on the badges, says Mr. Pal. We're chasing the supplier. It's been difficult, shall we say. We're at the point of needing to beat the supplier with a stick. They are apparently in the UK. They just haven't sent us the invoice to release them. A bit frustrating. Is Lottie in the loft, asks Tim Railways. No, Lottie doesn't climb ladders. So Lottie the cat.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I did. I met the cat downstairs. Beautiful creature.
Yeah.
I'm loving that comment. Mr. Simon Pitcher. 50 years ago, I was the thickest private in the army. That's wonderful.
So I take it that you're
Sat there.
The personnel file would have read any denser and light wouldn't escape.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
They used to be, and then the Navy, they'd have all sorts of reports like that, and it was a bit like, you know, doctors have their normal for Norfolk thing, and in the Navy it was like things like Able Seaman Smith has done nothing more than use this ship to transport his genitalia from port to port.
And he used the boat to carry venereal disease across the Canary Islands into the Panama Canal and across all the entirety of Europe.
Yes. Yes. Private Jones, if he stood still for long enough, they would accidentally paint him. Gronk pushing the goods, says Zantek. Yes, but the Gronk is meant to be pushing the goods. I wouldn't worry about that. It's on the ABC shuttle. We have this every week. That Gronk has done nothing for about a year and a half other than shuffle backwards and forwards, and people still say, oh, your loco's stopped. Your loco's pushing its wagons.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Yeah. Now, I've got some news for you guys as well, sent just before the show. So, just been told that Train Sporters has been given the Made in Britain certification. They are Train Sporters. I do use Train Sporters boxes for my 009 exhibition layout. Really, really useful. They come in a variety of different sizes and with cutouts to suit everything from N gauge through 00. I think they do O gauge ones as well.
Do they? Right,
I think so. I was looking at you. You're the O gauge modeler.
So Train Sporters is in the boxes?
Yeah, the boxes.
Yes, they do actually. I should know that because a friend of mine has actually got them for his O gauge collection. So yes, they do O gauge, and they're wonderful.
Also, we've got next week James Regier of Model Railroad Hobbyist magazine fame and James Regier Models, and we'll be talking to him about the Amherst Model Railroad Hobbyist meet, which has been on over this last weekend, and apparently they had incredible amounts of snow. And actually, Roker Prototype Models rang up on Sunday, and they were saying that it was just like unreal amounts of snow came down. And it's like, so somebody's having a winter, because we're not really having a winter here.
It's been quite mild in the past 2 weeks, really, hasn't it?
Well, we've had snow for maybe 2 unconnected days, and it was more like somebody had just shuffled the dandruff out and just spread it. It was a sprinkling.
I apologised.
A sprinkling. Claude Hamilton says, I'm from Norfolk and I do not approve. Although actually, normal for Norfolk is often scarily accurate. Yeah, my first fiance lived in Wisbech for a good long while, and yeah, they used to comment on that.
Oh, okay. Quick question: recommendations for garage layouts keeping the damp out and the heat in?
Insulation.
Good insulation.
To be honest,
good insulation. Yeah, absolutely.
Cools the roof down, and the moisture that's inside there, basically from you breathing out. Or from your glues drying or your paints drying, then just condenses and rains back down.
The other thing I've actually got, B&M sell these things, I think they're about £15. It's just a small little wall heater. You plug it in, turn it on, you can set it to any temperature you want, and it's a low emission thing, and that it takes the edge off and it keeps everything cool, keeps the damp down. It's wonderful. So yeah, insulation and a heater.
I think as well, people forget sometimes that insulation works in 2 ways. It's not just
live stream, Nick. Sorry, I got to throw that Australianism out there. It's not often I see the word "g'day" these days.
G'day.
G'day. How are you? Yeah. Oh, and Alex, by the way, congratulations on reaching 100 subscribers. Alex is an inspiring YouTuber. He was at DigiTrains last week.
Brilliant.
Reached 100 subscribers. Congratulations,
it is a big
my friend.
milestone.
Well done.
Because it's very hard when you first start, and it does get easier. But yeah, no, 100 subscribers, big milestone, definitely. So well done on that. But yeah, no, I was talking about insulation. The other thing I think a lot of people forget as well is that things like sheds and garages and even lofts can become intolerably hot in the summer, and insulation also works to keep it cool. So it's well worth it.
Play it cool.
Yeah. Yes. No. But no, it's well worth it. And I know that Ken Patterson had a bit of an issue with a fire in his layout room, And one of the things that came out of that was just how worryingly well a lot of the materials that we build model railways out of combusts. So do have a little think about that, about what you are using as insulation, as well as what you build like your hillsides out of. And you kind of, it's easy to gloss over all of this, but because he had, I don't know, have you seen the footage of Ken Patterson's layout room catching fire?
No, I haven't actually.
Because he has CCTV cameras in there, and luckily,
they seem to have survived.
luckily, he caught it in time. But the CCTV footage is actually quite an eye-opener, because what actually happened is he had a train derail whilst he was upstairs in the upstairs portion of the house.
I heard about this. Yes.
And it derailed in such a way that it started to pull quite a load, but not enough to trip out his 8-amp booster. Quite why he needed an 8-amp booster.
Because his train set is huge.
Well, there is that, but it generated enough heat that it actually set fire to the foam roadbed underneath the track.
So the lesson to be learnt there is, if you're going to go off and have a cup of tea or do something else,
Stop
the trains and turn the layout off.
Yes, but he's very lucky.
But he won't do that again, will he?
No. But it's something we've always said here. But when we talk about insurance, and people go like, "Oh, nobody's going to nick my static grass and dyed sawdust." It's
We're not talking about people.
We're not talking about theft. Fire doesn't care. It will just destroy everything.
Yeah, essentially it's insurance against stupidity without calling it that.
Yeah, to some degree. Yeah. But he was quite lucky. He did smell the burning, and a lot of these toxic products do stink when they burn. Yeah. And he had fire extinguishers, but it could quite easily have completely consumed the house, let alone the model railway room, actually destroyed the house.
The weird thing I find is, and not everyone does this, but I have seen one or two layouts over the years where they've got a water feature, and just say, for example, so it's a layout like this, but it's actual water.
Why would you do that? Water doesn't scale.
Why? It's like if garden layout, totally understand.
Yeah.
But if you've got, especially as we were saying before about damp and so forth, if you've got wooden baseboards and foam and everything else, you don't use real water on a model railway.
A way to soak in, and you won't be aware of the damage it's doing until black mould colonises everything.
Yeah.
And it's
including your lungs.
Yes, actually, black mould, very, very dangerous.
It's toxic. It gets into your brain.
Yeah.
That explains a lot then, doesn't it?
Well, there we go. Yes.
Explains a lot.
Yeah, we used to live in a house that had a black mould problem. Yeah, I did wonder why I was a bit weird.
You were weird before we moved in.
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
apparently I was. But no, I never understood that, the fascination. When I was doing the water features on the mountains up here, people say, have you thought about using real water? And it's like, very, very briefly, and then I discarded it for a multitude of reasons. Number one, and probably actually the biggest reason, water does not scale.
Nope.
So it doesn't actually look like how water would look in the real world. And, going back to the film perspective, when they were doing a lot of the model work back in the days where there was no computer-generated imagery to be able to fall back on, they had to do it. Oh, thank you so much. You had to actually do stuff as model work. And the way that they made water look more like real water in films like The Battle of the River Plate and Clash of the Titans is they put so much salt in it until the point where no more salt will dissolve in the water. And it starts to, you get the foaming effect that real water does naturally in like waterfalls and stuff. But can you imagine what having that much salt in the water would do to other things around?
For a start, it's conductive.
Yeah, I mean, it would play hell with your electronics. But then you get like white tide marks as the salt kind of just leaches out. Warbler Productions, as water attracts dust too, the surface would be horrible quite quickly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, anybody seen a stagnant pond will know that it takes
the water bottle I'm using for painting at the moment.
Yeah, water doesn't stay clean very long.
The other thing that doesn't scale, and happily we don't do this with our model railways, is fire.
Yeah.
So if you look at a lot of, if you've ever seen the behind the scenes of making movies, say for example like Titanic or Under Siege 2, for example, where there's either big explosions or big fireballs and everything, they're using miniatures, whether it be a 1/8 scale model or whatever it could be. But fire doesn't scale at all. So water definitely doesn't scale, but fire also doesn't scale. And but we don't need to worry about that in model railway terms as such.
What I will say is that I was watching a documentary actually about how they did stuff like Captain Scarlet and Thunderbirds.
Oh yeah.
And they had some incredible model work. And when they have fire and explosions, the way they made them look real was they filmed it on a super high-speed camera, and then they slow the footage right down.
Yeah.
And the only way you can scale explosions and fire is to do that. Which you can't do that in the real world. You can't speed up what you see and then slow it down in your mind. It doesn't work like that.
No.
But also, I mean, it'd be stupid. I mean, the fire risk would be incredible. Same as Tugs says, let's make tracks, TT120. TARDIS spotted on the paint tray, says Alec Denholm.
Yeah, Zantek was asking if that TARDIS that was on Duntell and Pike was one of the new ones they sent in. And the answer is no, because I'm painting them now. So I've got a base coat of black on it. Once that's dry, I will dry brush blue onto it.
Oh.
Yeah, Bim's Engine on Rails has said, "Hi both, what advice would you give to a newbie to get more subscribers?" Right, well, number one, consistency. Anybody who's on YouTube will basically say the same thing. Just be consistent. So, for example, I'm posting every week at the moment.
Yeah.
Charlie Bishop does every fortnight.
Yeah.
Heat Lodge Junction does every week.
Basically, have a schedule and keep to it.
Have a schedule and keep to it. Don't disappear for a long time. Obviously, if you get sick and things happen, but that's what the community tab's for as well. You can actually write there. There'll be a delay in a video, whatever it might be.
But also,
so keep consistent. But the other thing is, niche down. Don't try to be everything. So if you're trying to be all things to all in a certain aspect, or it could be anything. It could be model railways. It could be cars. Niche down, because if people get to know you for a certain thing, like I'm purely and utterly O gauge, and that's all I do. And I'm finding that because there are people who want to learn about O gauge and see what I'm doing in O gauge, it's easy for me to grow my subscribers, because it's like, oh, O gauge, bang, there's one. Well, Jen, you obviously know that you're going to have the Monday Club and everything else. So to grow your subscribers, be consistent and niche down. That's the best advice I can give.
Yeah, and it's something actually, Laurie's Mechanical Marvels ran into this, where he tried to do too much and ended up splitting certain things off into a separate channel, because it wasn't helpful to the algorithm. If your regular audience comes to you for one thing and then you want to put out a video of another thing and they don't watch it, that can actually be quite harmful to the statistics that run in the background.
And it also confuses YouTube's AI. And I'll come back to it, but YouTube has an AI that works out what channels are about. It looks at your content, it looks at your channel trailer, it looks at what's in your banner. And it will go, right, this person does X, Y, and Z, I'll market it to X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And Laurie became a cropper of that, because he's got trains and cars and that...
he tried to do too much.
And it went, I don't know what this is, I can't market this.
Yeah. I've experienced that myself. About 3 years ago, Leander was at the Worth Valley Railway, and we did a photo charter with it, and I made a really nice sort of short 5-minute video about it. And I'm quite happy with it. I was testing a new camera out, and it's on my Newton Grove YouTube channel, and it's only had about, I think, 300 views, whereas a lot of my other videos get 2, 3, 6,000 views. And the reason why that one only got a few views, number one, I wasn't being consistent at the time, but even though I am now, it's got nothing to do with my channel. But I've left it there because I enjoy it, you know. So just as Jen and Zoe have just said, be consistent and don't suddenly throw curveballs, because you'll confuse your audience, you'll confuse YouTube, and the way the algorithm works these days is it's all personalized. So people are always looking for double O gauge reviews or O gauge models or how tos, and they find your channel. If you suddenly start to produce content which is against that, your audience will start to naturally go away from that, and YouTube will recognize it, and they won't push you out there as much. So
it's all
I hope that helps.
all a big juggling act. And one of the things actually that we do, and I think a lot of other people do as well, is if you want to go away, create a buffer so you can still release videos whilst you're having time off. So with us, we film about a month ahead. I mean, sometimes you'll have a video that's time critical that'll get slipped in, but it gives you flexibility. So, for example, Weir Yard's completely rebuilt, but you haven't seen the last 3 videos because they're in the buffer. And also, and I just take this conjecture to Gandalf. We got some latecomers. I saw SHGP Media sneak in late, and I'm sure there's others.
The Monday Clubber is never late to the wagons. No, hurry, hurry. They write precisely when they mean to.
Thank you, Gandalf, and have yourself a biscuit. Jonathan, you can brought some. Oh! Give me my arm back. Blimmin' heck, gosh. Oh, you could lose fingers doing that.
You can only hear it. I have to be here to actually see it. It's
Yeah.
scary.
Gandalf chews with his mouth open. It ain't pretty.
Nice. You just
So
see this biscuit disappearing into this massive beard. It's weird.
yes, it's like Kirby from.
How do you know about Kirby?
I know of Kirby.
You're a secret
PN Train
gamer.
says I'm not late, just lurking. Robert Cesare 9040 says, Jen, what is that Union Pacific coach at the end of the train on the High Line? It's not Union Pacific. They're all 50-foot Stanier full brakes. But the one at the end is in Engineers Yellow, so that would have been part of probably a breakdown crane. But they just run quite well together on the raised track.
You know, they shouldn't have allowed all these people going around causing breakdowns to be getting their own trains.
Well, sometimes things fall over. You've got to pick them up. Oh, Summer Breeze Muller Railway says, happy birthday for tomorrow, Ray Central. So we've got a birthday, Ray Central.
Happy birthday to you.
Squash tomatoes and stew. Bread and butter in the gutter. Happy birthday to you.
I'm suddenly hungry now after hearing that song.
Well, do you want some kind of birthday cake?
No, Oreos are fine.
Have an Oreo. We've managed to wrestle it off.
Oh, if I must.
Well, you brought them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
There we are.
What's the use in biscuits if you can't eat them?
Absolutely.
I know these are for decoration only. You're not
Yeah.
allowed to consume the consumables.
Yeah. Spellio here says, I like YouTubers who edit properly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as well, don't don't just put out a stream of consciousness because you will end up boring people.
Yeah.
It's never stopped the Monday Club.
There's a big difference between a vlog
Yes.
and like, for example, if you're doing a live stream like this, or if you're just a creator who's doing a single take video and it is stream of conscious, that's fine. But if you're, for example, showing a layout build and you're saying this is how I built my engine shed, or this is how I built my tunnel, just focus on that. Don't then waffle on.
And if you do waffle, don't be frightened to actually cut a lot of the waffle out, because people, when they're watching it, they'll sit there and go, come on, get on with it.
Monty Python, isn't it? Get on with it!
Get on with it!
Yes.
Totally a model.
Yes.
Ian White has turned up late.
Do you know, every single time that thing slaps there, a fairy in Bolton dies.
Yeah, there's not many left.
Sodom. A Monday Clubber is never late to the wagons. Nor are they hurry. They're right precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. And Les Cliff says it's not Lobia's 20th birthday,
My
it
goodness.
coincides with his 70th. So, happy birthday to you.
Both
Squash tomatoes and stew. Bread and butter in the gutter. Happy birthday to you. So they
That
are.
is true. Attention spans are short these days. Get to the point within the first 30 seconds.
But I mean, that's the same with TV. I mean, one of the things that always used to annoy me back in the days when I used to bother watching TV was programs that would just ramble and pad out the program. And it used to be terrible on some of the Sky channels where they go, after the break, we're going to be and
always,
they would spend 5 minutes telling you what you were going to see after the break, and then after the ad break,
coming up next week, you bastards.
No, they used to they then recap the previous 15 minutes, and it's like, just bloody get on with it.
But
And
unfortunately, they did that because it worked. It catered to the kind of person that was watching it.
Which was
It
you
was-
at the time.
Yeah, and actually, it made me never want to watch Bravo again.
By the way, Sarah Hall, I agree. Me! YouTubers who say me. I love it.
Yes. We want a shrubbery.
But
Yes.
I wasn't joking.
One that looks nice, behind the logo shed. You need
Yeah.
a strong hook. In fact, this is the best tip I can give to anybody who's got a channel out there. As Zoe just said, it really doesn't matter on that first 30 seconds. So if you're not using AI, jump onto ChatGPT, and if you're making a YouTube video, type in what you're making the video about. Just say, for example, I'm creating a coal merchant yard, for example.
Yeah.
Go onto ChatGPT and say, this is what my video is about. Can you please write me a really catchy hook for my introduction? Because what ChatGPT will do is it will actually generate a small paragraph, which will literally be a 10-second thing that you can say on camera, and that's enough to grab people's attention and go, well, that sounds cool, I'll watch that, and then they'll keep watching it. So don't be afraid to try that. I mean, because I started doing that, and now I'm just used to it.
Yeah.
It's a great little tip to have.
It kind of gets you into the frame of mind of being able to do that for yourself. But
Yeah.
I will warn you, do proofread what the AI generates, because they can really drop in some clangers.
Yes.
Apparently everything's crashed, but I'm looking, we're still in the green.
We have not crashed. YouTube has an issue, but not from mine. I'm watching it and there's no change.
I think some people are, some people aren't.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what's going on, but we seem to have that issue a lot, but only on Monday Club. When I'm doing my show, it doesn't happen.
weird.
So I think perhaps
Windows related?
possibly Windows related, but possibly also wiring related. We're going to have to look at our cabling.
To be honest, we need to upgrade the cables anyway. That's the thing about home networks. We went for a cabled network, and it turns out cable's not the same. So what was good when we put it in is not the best now.
No.
So we do, but it's all laid under the floor, and that's a bit awkward. So yeah, Josh from Double M says, I've seen some videos with very obviously ChatGPT their scripts, and it makes my skin crawl. There's a few actually, yeah, and it's like simple pronunciation, usually of acronyms. That's the one that AI voices fall down on. They'll pronounce the acronym as if it's a word, when actually they should be just pronouncing the letters.
That's right.
Or they'll get like a laughable pronunciation of a common word.
Oh, the best one I've seen recently that showed up that one guy was using an AI voice was when he pronounced lingerie as lingerie.
Lingerie. That's
Yeah.
what I call it.
Yeah, but you don't do it when you're talking about
I
it on
do
a
it.
video.
I
No.
do it ironically.
Unless it's a comedy video, then it makes it's slightly
Yeah.
funnier then.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Could you imagine an AI voice trying to pronounce half the location names in the UK?
like Penmainmar
Or like Gloucestershire, for example. Or Chichester. AI would never be able to pronounce.
or toaster.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
for I've said this story before. For 20 years, I remember listening to Sally Traffic on the BBC talking about this place called Toaster, and I could never work out where it was. And then one day it just clicked and dawned on me that the place on the road signs that my brain was reading as Towcester was actually Toaster. But there's a lot of places like Bicester and Cirencester, Wisbech as well. There's another one, Ponteland.
I have to admit, I thought it was Wisbech.
So there's a lot of they like to keep you on your toes.
Well,
here.
actually, another one, and this is more of a northern thing, is Todmorden. Because the way it's spelt is Todmorden.
Yeah.
But anyone who's from up north will say, well, either Toddy or Todmorden. They don't say Todmorden. Whereas if you're down south, you probably say it the way you read it.
Yeah. But up in the northeast as well, you've got places like Tudor and Prudder
And Jarrah.
Jarrah.
The Jarrah March, or if you're southern, the Jarrow March. It's
but
not Jarrow, it's Jarrah.
But like,
And autobuse an
It all just
sound.
depends which which syllable you put your emphasis on.
Yaharic says, I've started blocking AI voiced videos. I've started doing a little bit of the same. I must admit, I would prefer to hear a real person. And there's like, it's once you hear the one little thing and you think, it kind of jars in your brain. I think a real human being wouldn't have dropped that clanger.
Having said that, and this is obviously something that we do need to take into consideration. There are, because social media is accessible to all of us. We've all got smartphones. We've all got the internet and so forth. You could actually be somebody who might be deaf, for example.
Yeah.
And you're into model railways, but you want to share what you do on YouTube. Now, you may need to rely upon an AI voice to actually showcase what you're doing. So in that particular instance, I think AI has been great because it can actually give people without a voice, which is wonderful. So it swings and roundabouts, really, isn't it? Because in the past, it couldn't have been done very well. You would have had to actually type in subtitles and people would have gone, well, I've got to read that and watch at the same time. I think it depends on how it's being used.
I think as well, though, it is nice if you tell your AI to occasionally stop and take a breath for air, like real people do. It's like this wall of words coming towards you. But yeah, J.K. Hauser says, point well made, Jonathan. Claude Hamilton says, many sellers on eBay use AI-generated blurbs, and it's often way too obvious.
Oh, it's terrible, man.
I'll be honest, I've seen...
The obvious one is commarand, because that's an Americanism.
Oh yeah,
it's grammatically incorrect for proper English. You know?
Yeah, for those of us who do English proper.
An Oxford comma's fine, but it's a very specific use of a comma then an and.
Yeah. Well, because a comma is a pause, and if you've got three things, you go this comma, that comma, and the last thing, and that last and is basically the last pause. And if you're looking at an AI script, and I hate this. There's two giveaways. It's always comma and if they always put like talking marks rather than punctuation marks, the hyphenated marks, and I can't stand that. I really can't stand that. So AI is very much American based when it comes to the way it's English.
Yes, it does love an M dash, as we call them.
Yeah.
I mean, I must admit, it's like, you're. I can tell you're one of these people. You're a bit like me, that when you see people who write texting words, the little voice in your head, it will stubbornly pronounce it as written, even though, like, I know that M number 8T would possibly be meant to mean something
Hello,
else.
matey.
Yes, but
or later.
Yeah.
L8R, for example.
The little voice in my head just stubbornly refuses to do anything other than pronounce it as letters and numbers.
You should see Jen when she tries to read text speak.
More buffering, apparently. Oh, yeah, we've gone right down into the red.
I can't help that.
Yeah, nothing we can do about it.
That's okay. Some people's faces look better blurry anyway.
I always used to joke and actually say I had the perfect face for radio. Let's change the angle of the dangle. Pick a number 1 to 5.
Oh, let's go for 6.
Yeah, you got number 1. Right. Are we? So we hit the lever.
I can't find it. I can't find it. I can't.
Can I just point out as well? Actually, we will have Americans in the chat as well, who probably are a little bit put out by the fact that we've just dissed the American.
We have nothing against you. Yeah, welcome, Americans, to the rest of the world. We do exist, but we have nothing against you. It's just that you're wrong, and that's it.
You can address all complaints on the matter to Jonathan Newton, care of Hornby Magazine.
Via the British Embassy.
Yes. If you want to raise a complaint, there's a gentleman called Mike Wilde. Send it to him.
Yeah.
The address is 123 Fake Street.
And he'll only take you seriously if you give him cans of Coke and Kit Kats.
Project Northgate says you mean like AI Vikings with horns. Well, as long as the horns are not on the inside of the helmet.
Ooh.
Hi, Owen. How you doing, man? It's good to see you here.
Absolutely, yeah. It's always great to see Owen and he shared with me some of the pictures of his latest modelling projects.
Oh,
It's
he's got
really
some on
good.
Monday Club as well.
Oh, has
on
he?
the Facebook group.
Well, I wouldn't
Yes,
know
he does
because
that
I
to me all
left
the time as well,
Facebook.
actually.
But right,
Oh,
Ben,
God, you can't see him, can you?
Ben
I
Tullett.
like Owen's. It's anybody would think this is a terrarium.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Only Owen would put in a would put in a decrepit road engine in a terrarium, which I think is spectacular.
It's an interesting way of presenting effectively.
No, he's resting. He's pining for the fjords.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wonderful actually. It's a different take on modelling, Owen. It's taking a micro layout to a different level. I mean, whoever would have thought to actually put a model railway in essentially a pot? That's great. I love it.
It is. I mean, it's kind of a bit like a snow globe, but on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
You know, there's a little
Mental as anything, by the way.
Yeah.
But brilliant.
We love Mental. And also, Ben Tullett has just admitted that they arrived a little bit late.
Don't do that while I'm looking in my biscuit barrel.
Yeah.
A Monday clubber is never late, Toto wagons. No, are they early? They're right precisely when they need to.
Thanks, Gandalf. And that goes out to Chobberton Junction as well. It says, evening, everyone. I appear to be ho-hum late. One of the things, actually, I was going to ask you about, because obviously you also, as well as being filmmaker, a model maker, you also work for Hornby magazine, and a lot of people might want to know, how do they go about getting their layout featured in a magazine? What would be the best approach to that?
Well, quite simply, if you want to have your layout potentially featured, there's two ways that we do it. We do what's called the reader's layouts, where you take your own photographs, you write a 500-word article, and you can supply that to us. But if you've actually got a layout that you think is worthy of actually having somebody come down, taking the photographs and so forth, then the best thing to do is if you've got one of the magazines, on the inside pages there's an email address. Just send an email there. Send us a few photographs of your layout. Make sure you include some stock as well, because it's nice to see the layout, but if we don't see the stock, and it could be diesels, it could be the modern era, it could be steam, we want to be able to see the stock you've got, any weathering we've got, and sort of just show us what you have to offer as such. So send anything to the magazine. The details are in the magazine itself, or you can go to keymodelworld.com and you can find contact information there as well.
But what would you do stock-wise if you're an eclectic modeller, such as myself, with wide range? Would you
we typically
pick one and stick with it?
We typically pick one because the thing is, there is a lot of crossover. There's a lot of layouts that I've shot over the past few years, which of course have been in Model Rail or Railway Modeller or BRM, and one of the ones that we featured recently, it's St Stephen's Bank, a beautiful O-gauge layout by Stephen Fay. When I did the shoot down there in Bristol, we had steam stock, 50s, 60s based steam stock, and then Model Rail came down the next day. Chris Navard came down, but he shot green and blue diesels. So same layout, different stock, so that when it hits the magazines, it's completely different. So for example, if we shot a layout where you had loads of locos like you do, we'd say, righto Jen, well, you've got lots of green diesels and BR steam, let's do transition. Or it could be, we'd pick something and focus on that. Right. Rather than showing everything, we pick a theme as such.
And is that something that the magazine likes to have a choice to be able to say, well, actually, this era works better for our readership, or we featured quite heavily a lot on blue diesels, so let's have something slightly different.
Exactly.
A little something for the old fuddy-duddies.
There's been times where, for example, I've shot layouts where they have got steam, green diesels, and blue diesels. And so what I will do is I'll start with purely steam, move into transition period, and then finish on just purely blue diesel, so that when I then give the photographs to Mike and Mark, and Mark's the one who decides what goes in and where and everything, Mark can look at it and go, oh, we haven't had a transition-based layout for a while, I'll use that one. Or, oh, we haven't had a GWR branch line for a while, we'll take the steam.
Yeah.
So if you've got a huge range of stock from a different period in time, we can always shoot everything, and then we'll come down to the editorial team to pick what they think is best based on what we haven't seen, prior to that sometime soon. So I hope that helps as such. So like I said, if you've got a layout that you think is worthy of a magazine, it doesn't need to be the quality of making tracks or anything like that. We like to sort of have what we classify as sort of 5 out of 10 and up, as such. Send some photographs and a bit of a blurb about your layout, to us at Hobby Magazine, attention it to Mark Chivers, and one of us will get back to you and let you know what's going to happen from there.
Also, Blackwood Engage Layout asked, do Hornby Magazine feature scale gauges other than 00? And I know you've done 009 because you've had my layout in.
Yes.
But I'm guessing he's asking about N-gauge.
Oh, we do everything. Oh, by the way, Railway Rob, thank you so much for the compliment. I really appreciate that. But yeah, look, we literally shoot everything. So 00 gauge is the primary focus for Hornby Magazine because the magazine is really aimed at the beginner to intermediate market, and 00 gauge is still the most popular scale to model in the UK. In fact, probably around the world, I would say, outside of HO. Sorry, America. So we do heavily focus on 00 gauge, but we've obviously had N gauge layouts. We've had TT 120s because, of course, people are starting to build them.
Yeah.
I've shot O gauge layouts before. If the time ever came where somebody said, "Hey, listen, I've got a gauge 3 layout in the garden," we'd shoot it. We've done 009, we've done NG7. So yeah, do not let scale and gauge put you off at all. 00 gauge is obviously the main scale that we do focus on, but we do encapsulate everything.
But does it have to be UK models or?
Yeah, primarily. So over the past 2 years, we have done an international supplement once a year, where we've featured, for example, we did an American narrow gauge layout at the Macclesfield Model Railway Group. Beautiful model. So that was ON30 narrow gauge American. We've done an Australian layout before. We've had a shot of German O gauge layout at the Wigan show last year, which will feature. So we do international layouts every now and again.
Yeah.
But that's only a supplement that comes out once a year. So, I mean, if you've got anything that is sort of more of a complementary, continental-based layout, then obviously there's publications for that.
Yeah.
What does Jonathan say? What does Jonathan think of
fictitious liveries on foreign locos?
Ooh.
Does that happen much?
No, actually.
I mean, I've seen it go the other way, where things like a 9F was dressed up as something German for the Indiana Jones film.
Yes, I have seen that, yeah.
And I'll be honest, actually, I was watching and thinking, oh, this must be what it's like listening to me talking about trains, because I looked at it and it jars, because it's so obviously wrong. Your brain goes, can't take the rest of this film seriously. But and when you've got places like the Nene Valley Railway that's got a lot of continental locos and stock in the UK, I'll be honest, there's no excuse for using a 9F representing some kind of rice barn locomotive. But I guess they were filming at the North Yorkshire Moors, and that's what they had. But
to be fair, that wasn't the only thing that was a problem with that film.
No,
yes, there is that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, RG models. No, I have never photographed T gauge. I have seen. There is one layout in T gauge I have seen, and it's bloody tiny. It's impressive. I think it was Riddlehead Viaduct.
That wasn't the one that Tom Marshall made, was it?
No. This layout's been around for a little while. Tom Marshall did that diorama, didn't he?
Yeah, he did it for the Pico 200.
Yeah, no, this is an actual layout. I think I saw it at the Queensbury Club a few years ago.
Right, yeah.
And it's a wonderful model, but it is tiny, and you can photograph anything, but it would be a challenge, I think, to make it look, especially to get in close with the detail.
T gauge is tiny, but there was when T gauge first turned up on the scene, there was a layout that was basically a model of the Forth Bridge, and that worked quite well insofar as it made use of the.
I saw the Forth Bridge in T gauge, yeah.
Yeah, the thing about it was that with something as massive as the Forth Bridge, really, T gauge was the only thing that could really do it justice within a feasible space.
I don't know who was at Model World Live last year to see the Forth Bridge made from Lego.
Oh yeah,
that was impressive.
But the thing about the T gauge was that it made it a manageable size, and it's something that anybody could go, I could build that, and that's what I liked about it. And you got that kind of overview of the model, that not unlike if you were buzzing it in a light aircraft.
Yeah.
I quite liked it.
Which, Jen does that every day before breakfast, so she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, Warbler Productions says, I've seen the T-gauge model of the Forth Rail Bridge built by a friend of mine. It's the one that immediately sprang to mind. And actually, the one thing about T-gauge as well, which I'll say, is that it means you can build an entire railway within some quite interesting locations. I've seen guitar cases get used.
Yes.
Small suitcases.
Yeah.
Even around the rim of a hat. So you could
amazing,
actually have somebody walking around the venue with their exhibit on their hat.
I think I saw that. It was on Facebook. There was a post, I think.
I thought it's a great way to
But
do a show.
even with N-gauge, there was something there about N-gauge lights where somebody had actually built an N-gauge railway around the rim of a toilet seat.
Yes,
that
yeah,
was-
I've
that
seen
was
that.
fun.
Bizarre as hell, I might add.
And it's like it's
Wasn't
the fact.
they out called Flushing or something?
And the thing about it was like it's like you're basically bringing a toilet to the exhibition with you, and it must be that moment where they wheel it in. It's like, where do you want this? And it's like, what?
See, if I built a layout like that, I'd have to basically the marketing would be, well, my layout shit.
Oh,
Yeah, but Aussies do that well. We've been watching the
Hey, a good joke at the wrong moment.
They always say farts are like marriage. If you have to try too hard, it's just going to be shit.
Where's her horn? Come on, then.
Is that a layout in a pizza box going to be at the Doncaster show? Says Simon Trains Mother Railway. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to be at the Doncaster show.
I know who's going to be at the Doncaster show. You.
Potentially, yeah. But I will be there as Private Citizen Kirk. I'm not there promoting anything, filming anything. It's just me and my dad frisking the trade. So just to let people know. But no, I haven't heard. I don't know whether they're promoting the Doncaster show yet because they haven't been in touch. Not like Warnerly. They did quite a lot of promotion.
Key Model World is promoting at the moment, but I haven't heard anything from Doncaster.
I think I may have seen one post recently, but I just do mean one post. The unfortunate thing, and I need to be careful what I say in my position.
Yeah. Right now, Phil Parker is leaning very close to the speaker with his notepad ready.
That's okay. He can slap me around on the wrist later on. But the thing with any exhibition, whether you are running it as part of a big corporation like a magazine, whether you're a small club, you need to get the advertising out there months and months beforehand because people need to know where it is, what day or days, the time, the location, the cost, everything. And if you start to promote it 5 weeks out, well, you're asking for almost a bit of a failure then because you want people to...
have already made arrangements.
Exactly.
Like, I'm doing
That's
this
right.
show on that weekend because they actually advertised.
Yeah, so I mean, the earlier that you can get your advertising out there, whether it's a massive show at the NEC or the Doncaster show or a small club show, you need to get the advertising out there as quick as you can and with as much information as you possibly can.
Yeah.
I've seen some where it says, come to our show, and you've got all this list of this and this and this, and you go, well, that's fantastic, but where is it?
Yeah.
Because they've given you the date, they've given you what's involved, and they've negated to give
Completely
you...
forgotten to tell you the venue.
Yeah, but then they wonder why people don't rock up.
That can be quite easy to do because, like, you're kind of so in the zone, you forget that not everybody knows where your club room is.
Yeah.
And it's like, but we've had 5,000 flyers printed up, and none of them have got the address on.
They all got delivered to the same house. Me mum's.
Yeah, well, my mum said she'd try and go if she could.
She might have trouble getting out the house. Though,
It's all right, love. I'll bring all my friends.
Yeah, I'll bring my friend. Oh, wait a minute, my friend's you. Mark Wilson, hello to you. Just got out from waxing the DeLorean, I see. Although steam is not my thing, I do love Jonathan's channel. O-Gauge shows the locos off a tree.
O-Gauge is amazing. I was talking to somebody at DigiTrains. He's an ex-railwayman, and he's got a double O-Gauge model that he's been producing. He likes to run it like the real railway. And he said to me, I don't know what it is, Jonathan, but I sit down and I play the trains and there's something missing and I just don't know why I'm not into it. And as an O-Gauge modeler, I basically say the same thing. With O-Gauge, you've got a lot more realism. You've got heft, you've got mass, you've got detail. And when you have, whether it be a diesel or a steam engine in O-Gauge, the slow speed, the way that you can see everything moving, the way it responds, it looks and feels like the real thing. And depending on how you model it, you could have a yard or you could have a massive layout like Heat Lodge Junction. You really can. It does feel more realistic, and I think O gauge, more so than double O gauge in the smaller scales, is really an amazing scale where you actually get that sense of the real thing. And lo and behold, he bought himself a small little starter set with track, a controller, and an 09, and he emailed me the next day and he said, you know what, you're right, this is amazing, I can't get over it, it feels real, and it's just on his tabletop. So O gauge, if you haven't explored it, it's worth exploring, and you can do it cheaply these days. You can get a Dapol Ginty for £200 thereabouts on 08, the Els Clark and Pug, which is coming out, which you must see. It's got working inside valve gear, breathing firebox and ashpan glow.
That is one I'm really looking forward to.
That's a small engine that's only like that. So if you get a Pug with a few wagons and build a small little 4 foot by 1 foot Inglenook, you've got a wonderful O gauge layout, and you'll really see the difference. And it's not expensive anymore with a small thing like that. So get into O gauge, it's wonderful.
Because the thing about O gauge is you don't need as much stuff. I mean, like looking around it here, there's literally hundreds of wagons, but you don't need that in O gauge.
Now I have a problem. I'm a bit obsessed. I've got too many things.
And you're sat with somebody who hasn't.
Well, put it this way: you've got 80 odd locos here in double O gauge. I've got almost 40 in O gauge.
500.
That's a lot.
I've got 520 at last count. Yeah. I mean, like they're just everywhere. Yeah, those drawers up there, every single one of those has at least one, possibly more locomotives in. There's stuff in cabinets downstairs.
I take it back. I'm no longer the one with the problem.
We staged an intervention, and instead of getting Jen off the trains, she recruited some other people to find her more.
Yeah, I can't help it. I've got a bit of a problem.
Well, I have the same thing. In fact, Neil from Els Clark Trains, he should have been a salesman. He weathers the locos there amazingly.
Yeah, I've seen some of the work he does. It's incredible.
It's stunning. If you're into O gauge and you buy for Els Clark Trains, they offer the weathering service there. It's wonderful. But Neil should have been a salesman, because he'll say to me, "Oh, this 9F came in the other day," or "Oh, this Clan came in the other day." Just before it goes online, have a look at it. And he knows I'll say yes, because Neil, you're a bastard. You know me too well. But that's the thing. I mean, sometimes I've basically gone the whole thing of, if you want it, you buy it. The hobby's about enjoying it, really. And I've had so many people say to me, "Oh, look, I'd love to get into O gauge, maybe one day." I got into O gauge. I started back in 2007 or 2008. I sold all my double O gauge locos, and I bought the Sanchen Black 5. Back then, that was 1,500 Australian dollars. For me, that was expensive. But now I've got 35, 36 O gauge locomotives, and it's an enviable collection for somebody of my age.
Yeah.
But if you just start and get into it, one of these days you're going to realise 5 years down the track, you go, "Wow, I've got 4 coaches, 20 wagons, 3 locomotives," and it's like anything. You start to build a collection.
Yeah.
If you wait too late in life, you got the money. But why not enjoy it now and just slowly get into it?
And actually get your money's worth out of it. I mean,
absolutely.
Slowly get into it is exactly the best point.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't have to rush in.
I mean, I kind of I fell in at O gauge a little bit late in life, but I've got about 12, 13 locomotives and a lot of rolling stock, and just for a little garden railway. And it is great. It's like you said. I mean, the weight in those. I mean, you could beat people with some of those locos. There's so much heft in them.
Why haven't I thought of that? Oh, that's right. They're expensive.
Oh yeah.
People are cheap, but you don't damage the locomotive.
Yeah.
People don't do that. Don't.
Yeah. I've got.
Not unless they ask nicely.
I only bought this 09 to throw to people I don't like.
Yeah, but I mean, some of the like Daypol have done a huge amount to make O gauge very, very accessible.
Yeah,
I mean,
Lionheart Trains Dapol, they've done the 3MT, exquisite model. They're bringing out the 2MT. I saw the deco samples for that at the Wigan show, the O gauge guild show in Wigan. Once again, incredible. And the Els Clark Black 5. Actually, Nick has asked, do I have any of the Els Clark Black 5s? I've got 2 of them. They are incredible models.
I mean, I've got one as well. They are
Jen's
incredible.
Got one too. They are what Nicky was able to design into the Black 5, and what Ellis has basically set the bar with the Black 5. I honestly believe it is the perfect middle range size entry level O gauge locomotive, because if it's DC, it's less than £1,000. DCC sound, you're looking at a few extra £100, but the detail on that locomotive
it's incredible.
just exquisite. And the Ellis Clark Black 5, as far as I'm concerned, it's a benchmark in ready-to-run O-gauge. And don't get me wrong, the Dapol stuff is wonderful and everything too, but if you're into steam, that Black 5 is worth every single penny. And of course, these days, you can pay as you go. I think Klarna, you can pay over 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Ellis I know that he offers that service. Yeah, if you're thinking about getting a Black 5, get yourself a Black 5 because
they are lovely.
Stunning.
And yeah, you won't be disappointed. And you know, I've got mine takes pride of place in the display cabinet.
I have to admit, I'm not a fan of steam the way that Jen is, and I looked at the Black 5 and thought, that's pretty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I still love myself an 08. But that Black 5 is pretty nice.
Well, when the Pug comes out, because I've seen the tooled sample. When it was meant to come out, they didn't actually think it was going to be a running sample because the first tooled sample never is.
Yeah.
But they had it as a running sample, and as I said, the inside working motion gear, you can see it not just from the bottom up through the frames through the boiler.
Yeah.
But you can see it as the engine's running along, the eccentrics turning around.
Yeah.
They've put in a glowing ash pan.
Yeah.
They're putting a breathing fire. So if you like fire effects, this is a breathing firebox where, if you know steam locomotives, like you've got a dark rim sort of fire around the edge, and then it breathes in. And what they've done with the functionality is you'll hear the fireman shoveling coal, the fire will be breathing, but then the fire turns off, and the cab doesn't glow for about 5 minutes, and then randomly it comes back on again. So you really do get that realistic look of the fire doors opening, but fire going on, and then they shut it. And what they're doing, and this is just the first sample, that Pug is going to be the most amazing entry level into O-gauge locomotive that anybody can buy. If you like steam, I honestly cannot recommend that Pug highly enough. If you thought the Black 5 was amazing, the Pug is a game changer.
I mean, let's just say that the Pug, it's like, you might as well just have a direct line into my bank account, because it's like, I look at those and it's like, I need them in 00, I need them in O-gauge, I need every single one. So
Jen's
it's like,
got the Pug life.
yeah, a bit of Pug life going on.
It's a hard Pug life for us.
But Ellis, do you take kidneys?
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
I've seen the stash out the back. Yeah, there's,
I've only got one left. You can't have it.
Yeah, lungs. Cupboard monkeys. I trade in a cupboard monkey against a Pug. Valley's 5600 says I've acquired 200 00 Loco since 2021.
Wow,
that's quite a lot. Spongate Junction says, talking of O-gauge, have you seen Heaton Lodge layout by Barry George? I watch this every Friday. We were talking about that earlier.
Simon George, not Barry George. But yeah, Heaton Lodge is going to be an amazing layout once that's completed. Amazing.
It was pretty amazing already,
because people talked about that recently.
Well, what Simon's doing there is, because Heaton Lodge Phase 1 was an incredible layout. And we went down to photograph it for the magazine, and Simon, this is 2 years ago, he was talking about basically putting scenery onto the fiddle yard.
Right.
And the innovations that he was going to do then, he's expanded upon it now. So putting in what he's calling HS3, which of course isn't a real thing.
Yeah.
You've got a high-level, high-speed thing where he's having HSTs and so forth. He's doing Healy mills. He's got massive cooling towers. He's got cement works. Phase 2 is going to be the most impressive thing. It's going to be a massive, massive layout, but it's nice to see something of that particular scale, because even though literally 99.9% of the rest of us will never be able to have anything like that ourselves, it's so good to see what can be achieved, and it's going to be the most phenomenal layout. And Simon, he's like Charlie Bishop. He shows you what he's doing. He shares his failures. He shares his successes. He shares his absolute obsession with the Class 56. Simon, you've definitely got a problem. And it's going to be a very impressive layout when it's all finished, which I believe is meant to happen sometime this year.
Ooh.
So yeah, check it out.
So will it become the largest model railway at that point? I know that was talked about, that he kind of wanted to wrestle the certificate back off.
I'm not too sure, because the thing is, when it came to the world record for making tracks at the NEC, that they had to do all 4 laps, and it was all about the actual distance around the layout, not so much the size of the layout. It was actually the travel distance of the layout. So whether Heaton Lodge becomes Britain's largest model railway, or largest port model railway, I think that right now Simon is going down the path of, he just wants to make his model his way. He's expanding it to do something huge. I really think making tracks and Heaton Lodge Junction are in 2 very different leagues. Heaton Lodge shows you what you can do when you're modelling, you know, a real scale location in a large gauge with massive amounts of space. Making tracks has always been about the hobby, getting people interested in the hobby, raising money for charity through the hobby. So they're both inspirational from two different completely points of view, and I think that they are both worth a merit. If they both end up being world record holders for different reasons, I think that's fantastic. But you know, whether Simon's going for the record, well, time's going to tell.
I mean, also, it's actually quite hard to get a Guinness World Record because there's so many hoops you have to go through.
Yeah.
We found that when we laid a model railway down the Great Glen in Scotland. We didn't get a Guinness World Record because there was so many expensive hoops to go through. The TV production company went, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
There's too much aggro within the time scale of us doing this. So, yeah, it's kudos to Making Tracks actually getting the world record because there's so much they will have had to have done, form filling, box ticking, and expensive arrangements behind the scenes to actually line that up and do it.
Yeah, that's right.
And just because you go through all the hoops doesn't mean you necessarily get the Guinness World Record, because I've also been part of a different Guinness World Record attempt where the first time we didn't get the record and we had to actually restage it, I think it was about a year later, and finally get the Guinness World Record.
The Volvo.
The Volvo
Yeah,
thing.
I was so annoyed with that. We were so close on that, and then a few people decided, "Oh, I'll just hold back so I can rev my engine."
Yeah, there was
Well, thanks, great.
the
That's
Hoonigans
wonderful.
got
You've
involved
screwed
and
it.
ruined it for
That's a
everybody
real
else.
shame, isn't
And
it?
they tried to do that the second time round, but basically the marshals were really on it, and they were just like, "You out," and they were just pulling people out of the traffic because it's like you're just messing this up for everybody. Get out. So let's have a look. We've got 57305 Northern Princess. Great to see you. Hope you are well.
I'm paying attention today. A Monday. A
like
Monday clubber is never late to the wagons. No, are they?
Project-
They're right precisely when
Thanks, Gandalf.
Project Northgate over here. I'm blaming Jonathan for my bankruptcy. I will be more than happy to be blamed. That is fine.
Bankruptcy for
I
model railways.
I understand
well
that
worth
I've
it.
become a bad influence on a lot of people's bank accounts with their modelling, so I'm
Yeah.
more than happy to be your scapegoat.
Yeah, basically, crack cocaine is cheaper. Oh, interesting. Right, so this is the show at Wirksworth in May. Anybody who's wearing a Monday Club badge
Gets
will
charged double.
will get into the show for free.
Oh,
Free,
when
you
you
say nice.
For free. I don't know what it normally costs to get in the show, but it might be worth just buying a Monday Club badge because it does get you discounts elsewhere as well. And before people, we did say at the beginning, we're still waiting on the supplier to invoice us so we can get the new colours of badges. We have been chasing that. They have not been forthcoming.
No.
So
I'm
it's
told
in
they're in
hand.
the country waiting for me to pay.
They've
but
been
I've
in the country for nearly a month.
But I've been given no way of paying.
Yeah, and they
So-
won't release them until they got the money. But they
I love your comments. The Monday Club does not endorse crack cocaine. It's just wonderful.
Yes, Flymo Chairman 1 does keep us honest. Good work, Flymo Chairman. Good work. Yes, without you, I'd be on a street corner.
Joe, just getting back to what you're saying about the world record, when obviously Making Tracks had the world record attempt at the NEC for our first Model World Live 2 years ago, there's obviously a lot of hoops to go through. One of the things I think we didn't realise was the amount of time that they had to test all 4 tracks on that entire layout. And the unfortunate thing was, on the day that the record took place, the layout was basically seconded for over an hour, going through all the testing. So the unfortunate thing was, people came to see the layout and they didn't get to see things moving around apart from the little test mechanism that they had on there. And it's because, as you say, the Guinness World Record process is so involved.
Yeah.
I think that what it would have been better to have done is maybe done that out of hours and then come back during the day to do that final lap and then give the award, because unfortunately, and this is the thing, you learn as you go along, it did knock out that layout for a long time, and the feedback that we got was, well, we went to see Making Tracks and nothing was going on apart from the world record attempt.
So it might have been better if they could have been set up, say, in time to do that on the Friday
Yeah.
and get all of that kind of thing done on the
All
Friday.
the testing on the Friday.
So
yeah.
that the Saturday and the Sunday it could run as a normal layout, and then they could have the
ceremony
the
on-
ceremony
yeah,
say
exactly.
on the Saturday, but it then wouldn't have taken away from the
but
show.
you live and you learn, and that's the thing. I mean,
I'm going to play devil's advocate on that one. Making tracks is massive. Could they have got it set up on the Friday?
they did.
They did.
They always have,
Mind you,
technical issues.
Mind you, getting it set because they were in there from the Thursday, putting everything in there.
Right.
It was running by the Friday, but because they'd never put all 4 of them together before, there was obviously last minute fettling and other bits and pieces like that. So, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, in hindsight, what we could have done is said to the Guinness World Record, look, come in very first thing Saturday at say 8 a.m. to do all the testing.
Yes.
But once again, we didn't know that it was going to take that long to do everything as well.
Yeah.
If we were ever going to do it again,
Yes.
we'd probably say, right, please come in so that we're not disrupting the running of the
Yeah.
railway. Because if people have come down with their families, kids want to see trains running around. They don't want to see a whole bunch of adjudicators, seconding a layout for an hour or two.
That's
So-
it. If they wanted to see a bunch of dudes in suits, they'd go to school.
I don't know.
I've been lurking as I've been weathering wagons using Jonathan's spray paint techniques in N-Gauge. N-Gauge, wow!
That's Dave
I
Holloway.
would love to see those. So feel free to send me some photographs. I would love to see how those results are coming out.
And very least put them on the Monday Club Facebook group. Unfortunately, I'm not involved with Facebook anymore. I have liberated myself from that toxic stress pool.
To be honest with you, Jen, you are so much brighter now that you're not dealing with all that crap.
Yeah, and there's like 5 gig of extra space on my phone. It's brilliant. I can record videos. In fact, I can record 2 videos now on my phone without having to clear them off.
And just so because people will ask,
Yes.
the reason that Jen is no longer on Facebook is no police matter. We can't talk about it, so don't ask.
Yes. But there we are. Anyway, sounds like Gandalf needs his live steam Nick. Do we have a latecomer?
Always like
Yeah. Oh, Gandalf.
Oh,
There we go.
a Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Jennifer Horton says Weir Yard looks O-gauge from that camera angle. I don't know, it depends how big your screen is, I suppose. I mean, if it's Warbler Productions with your 80-foot video wall running the algorithm to spot the TARDIS, I always imagine he's watching it, and it's like something out of Blade Runner. Enhance 34 to 38. Like looking for the TARDIS.
What's live stream Nick send the loo for?
The loo?
Is that Lord Alzheimer's Laffy? Is that on screen?
It might be. Let's see. I put my. Yes, it is
there
just
you are.
in shot with Lord Al outside holding court.
Oh,
This
right.
is YouTuber. Have you been scanned by Model U?
Many times.
All right, you should send one in because we'll end
Or
up
let
on.
us know where we can get one.
Well, next time I see you, I've actually got a few double O gauge scans of me which I've been given, so I'll give one to
Are
you.
you actually on? Can you be purchased from the Model U website?
Oh no, I'm very cheap. So,
See, she used to be. She used to have to put in the Konami code, and you could get her, but
Yeah.
she didn't have a specific.
we
listing.
actually do have Model U coming down to our office this coming Wednesday, and I believe, what I've been told, that the plan is for them to scan us. I believe. So, if that's correct, I think that the idea is to be able to actually have the Hornby magazine team as a Model U offering. I believe,
cool.
but we'll confirm that. But I knew that they're coming down. So.
Are they going to be at Key Model World Live with their little?
They're one of our sponsors. So Model U last year and this year are sponsors of Key Model World Live, which of course we're very grateful for. I think Model U is an amazing company. I've been purchasing from them practically since Alan started the company, and I think that what he's doing as far as innovation with his 3D printing and now using AI, because what they do now is, if for example you've got like a passed away relative, for example, you can say, look, I'd love to have my grandfather or my brother or whoever it might be.
Do they do that thing where they take photographs?
Well, you can take a photograph, and what they do is they can take either just the face or the entire body. They can run it through 3D recognition programming, and they can generate a 3D printed model of the person you want, whether it's just the face or an entire body. And Model U have been instigating that for about a year or two now.
Wow.
So they're always innovating, and I really love what they do as a company because they offer just so much more than 3D printing. And of course, if you've seen the colour colour crews that Acura Scale have.
Yeah.
They're produced by Model U, and they print them in colour.
Didn't they do the ones for the Hornby Rocket? Or was it the Hornby Rocket or the
I'm not too sure.
Rapido Titfield Thunderbolt as well? I think they did those.
The Titfield Thunderbolt, I remember that one.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
And the technology moves so quickly because when they first appeared, they were a little bit blocky. But now I was shown one, and I just thought, wow, somebody's done an incredible paint job on that. And you went, no, that's actually printed in colour, and you wouldn't know unless you were told.
With any technology, it always gets better. I mean, Alan showed me his first colour 3D printing samples at our first Model World Live. I think give it a few more years, and colour 3D printing is going to look amazing. Right now, the detail is there, but it's sort of looking. Anybody who remembers Nintendo 64s and so forth, that whole sort of square, blocky, unrealistic sort of thing. That's what it looks like now. I think given a few years' time, when AI becomes better, printing quality becomes sharper, and details become sharper as well, I think that colour 3D printing is definitely a way forward. But like I say, there's a lot of models, like the Acura Scale models right now, that they are printing and fitting with colour crews, and Model U's instigating all that. So I think Model U as a company are by far one of the best in the industry.
Yeah, and it's amazing how quickly the technology improves. I mean, it doesn't seem like 5 minutes since they first started.
That's what it was. GoldenEye. Thank you.
GoldenEye?
Yeah, James Bond. GoldenEye. That's exactly what I'm talking
looks
about.
like Oddjob.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying. Yeah.
But that was the killer app for the N64. There were people who bought an N64 GoldenEye package and didn't bother with any other games.
That's me.
I made her, when she got her N64 out of storage, I made her buy more games because it was just quite frankly embarrassing that all she had was GoldenEye. Oh dear.
Apparently you're pimping me out, which I've just read.
Pimping you out?
Yeah, Jen's been pimping Jonathan out for cheap. That's what the comment was.
Really? Okay. So Key Model World Live is coming up, and what can we expect to see there? What's been announced so far?
As of a few days ago, we're bringing a massive, huge, life-size tank.
Yes.
Which is going to be interesting.
Yeah, you came running into the room and went, they've got a tank!
Yeah, that's right. So last year we had a full-size Spitfire replica. The year before that we had the Class 37. This year it's a tank. There's a few really nice layouts that I know are coming along this year, some of which we've photographed for the magazine but haven't been featured just yet. Others have been featured. So off the top of my head, I actually can't tell you everything. I think
there is a Scalextrics track being brought by Sawyer Models where you can race the Mini Champion.
It wasn't there last year, no.
No,
that was a rally course.
That's right.
I think was that Scalextrics themselves that brought that
Could have
one?
been. That was wonderful. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Well, this year there's going to be a miniature representation of the club circuit from Silverstone. So it's not the F1 track, it's the club track. And you get to be able to race against, is it what category does he race in? I know it's minis, but what?
Dan Truman in the British Mini Challenge, the Mini Cooper Challenge or
There's
Championship.
minis involved, but he won.
But Dan Truman is a hell of a racer.
Oh yeah, I mean he won. And he blew an engine at one race, so they swapped the engine in his car with one out of a road-going car, and he still won the race.
Oh, wow.
And that takes something. I mean, I did wonder, like, so why are they spending all this money on a special race engine when he can actually still win the race?
Because you have to be incredible to do what he did.
He is incredible, and he's got an incredibly small bottom. Because I tried to sit in the car at the.
I'm not going to ask how she knows that.
We went to the winning the championship celebration in Leighton Buzzard. And I tried to get in the car and I nearly got stuck because I couldn't get in the seat. Because the seats are actually moulded to the driver and I could not get into it. So Daniel oh, hold on, it's gone and done a weird thing. So we've got
tells you what he's
Daniel Truman Racing Mini Challenge Club Sport Cooper Champion 2025. He's also involved with the Leighton Buzzard narrow gauge railway as
Yes.
well. So just bringing it all back
Yeah,
together.
so you can talk trains while
Absolute-
he beats you at racing.
There we are. Andy Fryers Junction says, myself, the trade stand, Dan and his racing team, and Silverstone in Scale Electrics they'd be bringing. Plus
And
the
I'm
car
doing
as
some
well.
of the- and I'm doing some of the decorating for it.
Yes,
Not all of it,
the Cupboard
just some of
Monkey
it.
is painting the Armco barriers. Not as we speak, literally, but she is doing
No,
that.
I was painting a TARDIS.
Simon Trenton on the railway says, oh no, I don't Dan Everson didn't bring the Scale Electric race stage model at Key Model World last year. I've a feeling that was...
Dan, he did have Scale Electrics there, but it was a layout concept. It was basically built essentially like a model railway, but using Scale Electrics instead.
Yep.
And it was the most impressive thing I've seen.
Dan Everson with the rally...
Tunnel lane models.
Yeah, that rally stage.
That rally
Amazing.
stage was incredible.
It was next to Model U. Incredible model.
Yeah.
And I mean, Dan's the most amazing model anyway.
But to do that with to apply to Scale Electrics what we're used to doing with model railways, it just showed that how incredible you can make a working slot car model.
Yeah.
And it was just magic to sit there and watch that car skidding around.
And it demonstrates the level of skill and detail that your average model railway enthusiast has. That, to be honest with you, is still missing from most Scale Electric.
Yeah.
When you see Scale Electric track, a lot of it is more hard wearing because you think the car's going to come off.
Mm.
But if you know that you're good enough that it won't, you can put an awful lot of extra detail in.
Yeah, because they actually had Model U figures on it, and one of them was the Cupboard Monkey, because apparently there weren't many figures in the Model U range of female photographers.
Oh,
but
right,
when
okay.
she got scanned, she was holding her camera. So it was like the perfect addition for people doing photography.
So I show up also in all sorts of places.
Yeah, apparently, for I don't know whether it's still the case, but for a while she was the most popular figure in the Model U range.
Oh, really?
And it wasn't because people went, I really need a Cupboard Monkey.
No,
it was because they wanted
fat lads with camera.
Yes, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, in a way, it's kind of what I remember a long time ago. Model railways were very much, for many, just a toy. Yeah. And it was the military modelling that kind of kicked the railway modellers into touch, in a way, because I can remember going right back to the early 80s, and it was apparent that the military modellers had been doing this through the 70s. The standard of modelling and the techniques that they had been employing were just absolutely incredible. Even 1970s level of military modelling was just incredible to look at. And I think that
really
that,
is.
in a way, is kind of what kicked railway modellers into touch, thinking, we've got to up our game here. It's possible. Let's do it.
The thing is, I mean, the way I see it, there's really two types of modellers when it comes to model railways. There are modellers who just want to build whatever they want, have whatever stock they want, and it's just their own railway, my rules. And then there's the other modellers who actually want to sort of really replicate a location and the railways as they were, for example. And I think that as model railway enthusiasts, especially people who sort of strive for extra realism, there is so much that we can learn and take from the scale modelling side of things. Because scale modelling, and Dan Everson's a really good example, because Dan Everson started in scale modelling and then he moved across to railways. And if you've seen any of his dioramas, like he's built some dioramas all set in the war where he's got buildings that are blown out and rubble everywhere. And the detail in the footprint is literally just, that squared. And the detail with scale modelling is so impressive. And obviously they work on a smaller scale. I mean, with a model railway, you've got a lot more space. But I think there's a lot of people in model railways who shy away from going that extra detail. But as you've done here with Weird Yard, once you've started your layout, you can always go in there and rebuild things, add more detail. And that's the good thing with Model World Live. It shows model railway enthusiasts what you can achieve when you put a bit more time into certain aspects of your model railway.
And that's I always say model railway is never truly finished because you always tinker. And yes, there'll be that big push to make it look like it's finished and presentable, but you will spend the next 20 or 30 years tinkering with it and adding the detail. That's what I love about a model railway, is you can get the gist of it fairly quickly, but then you can do all of that really in-depth detail at leisure. because it doesn't look like it's not finished. You're just improving it.
And you can always remove and rebuild. I mean,
Which is exactly what I've done.
Over here. I've done that on my layout in Newton Grove. My very first engine shed that I built was my first attempt at scratch building. It was good, but the second shed that I built it in a different way, better design. I learned a lot more about things, and so I'm actually a lot more happy with that shed now. Maybe one day I'll do a third shed, for example. And that's the thing. Just because you built a model railway now, it doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. And there's a lot of people who will either throw away or sell a model railway because they're like, well, I'm over this now. But as we saw with your 009 layout,
the Minith Tattoo Snewith.
If you rebuild it, add some different details into it, and just change it around, it takes on a brand new life, and it becomes essentially a brand new layout. And the passion comes back again, and striving for that extra detail all the time. And there's always so many wonderful things coming out from Model U or WW Scenics or whatever it might be. There's so many great things that we can always keep improving and adding and so forth. As you say, it's never ending, and that's one of the great things about this hobby. Whereas with a scale model, if you built your small little scale model diorama, once it's finished and you're happy with it, you go, well, I'm going to build the next one now. Whereas a model railways by their nature are always changing and evolving, and model railways are exactly the same.
Absolutely, yeah. And, I've really enjoyed... I got the bug for rebuilding with Minith Tattoo Snewith, and that was kind of done out of necessity. I didn't initially intend to rebuild it, but model railways don't command very much of a price. If you try and sell a built model railway, it's like people love building their model railway, but they don't put a value on somebody else's layout being sold. And I got a few tyre kickers and no real interest. And so out of necessity, I thought, well, if I rebuild this, then it saves me having to figure out what the hell to do with the old layout. And actually, it was the best thing I ever did. And I then took that and applied it to Weir Yard. And you know what? No regrets. I just, apart from, I wish I'd done it sooner. Because there's so many great products on the market as well. And one of the things is that railway modelling is like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get at it.
Absolutely.
But then you find new products, you find new techniques to use. And, there's things now on the rebuilt Weir Yard I didn't even know about when I first built Weir Yard. I mean, even things like static grass. When I first started building Weir Yard, I had no idea what static grass was.
Right.
So that came actually as an add-on. And yes, I went back over chunks of Weir Yard and added static grass previously, but this time round the build has been done from scratch with proper static grass, and the Warworld Scenic stuff is just incredible for that. I found it easy to use, arguably easier than the old school techniques that were around before static grass came on.
And the secret with static grass these days, it's like anything, it's multi-layering. So you put your static grass down, or for example, you can actually even put some scatter down first, then you put your static grass on top of that, then you can put different lengths of static grass, different shades, but then you can also add different things in that static grass, like clumps of different hedging and so forth. Because if you walk outdoors into the real world, it isn't just grass on ground. It's a whole array of so much, and that's the thing. There's so many different things we can use these days to just really oversell it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of I love doing kind of wild countryside. I don't I don't bother doing like bowling green lawns or cricket pitches. That's boring. Yeah. But when you do the wilds,
not in Devon, but
well, but yeah, like that. I'm specifically looking over there. Let's see if I can bring it up on the camera. But there we are. So like that grass that's over there. The secret with that is actually the scatter that I put in between the layers of static grass. So I start with static grass, but then I'll put in layers of just sprinkles of the really, really fine scatter. And it's not just thinking of that as flowers, but there's a lot of greens in there as well. And I use specifically 3 different shades of green. And then I'll go over it and mute all that down with another layer of static grass. And I find as well, I will load up the hopper with at least 3 different colours of static grass and not thoroughly mix it, otherwise you'll just get a new colour of static grass. Yeah. But a loose mix and then just...
Randomisation is always the key.
Yes.
Always. Yeah.
And perversely I found as well, the less care you take at being neat, the better the look. Yeah.
Wasn't that Picasso's motivation?
Kind
You
of,
just slap it on, it looks like a face.
Yeah, it's like sometimes if you try too hard, it ruins the effect.
Yeah.
Because nature, but it is not desperately organised.
No, it's perfect in a very imperfect way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a lot of random in it, and so actually, if you take a little bit less care and you're not too bothered about the different colours and the different fibre lengths, then actually...
That's interesting. I want some figures for my layout. That's interesting.
Okay. Is it Noch or Prize? Or is it one of the German?
I think Nock do it.
They do what they call adult scenes, but
Northumbrian Painting Services also do adult stuff as well. But yeah, Nock definitely does do it.
Yeah, I think it's like sexy scenes or something. They come in boxes. You can't actually see what's in. You have to go off the description. I've never felt tempted to get this. I think some people like the kind of cheeky naughtiness, and it's almost like there's a little secret that rewards people who look really closely. But for me, I have never felt that I need to. I think the closest I've got is Santa's Sexy Helper. And the only reason I've got that is because it came from one of the layouts built for Great Model Railway Challenge, where we needed fembots.
Oh, right.
And that was the closest we could get to fembots.
Oh, Dr. Evil's Lair.
Yeah. But it's hidden away. It's actually, you have to go looking for it. It's on the other side of that post over there. But that's about all as far as I go. But yeah, no. Are you all right there, Zoe? What are you doing?
Getting the picture.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's putting the flap down. Flap, such a dirty word.
Yes.
It's funny.
Making sure she doesn't fall through that very big gaping hole in the floor.
Yeah. Angus Trains, great to see you. It says it's funny because Miniature Wunderland has those scenes. They do actually. Yeah, that was the thing.
But it's German. What do you expect? They're filthy, the Germans.
Well,
God bless them. I might.
Can I say actually, one of the things about when I was over in Germany, it really struck me the Germans have a much more relaxed approach, and I get the impression the Dutch are the same, and probably a lot of other cultures, and it's actually the British that are really straight-laced and like and in other cultures
it's not just the British, it's the Americans, because everything in America is a sin.
Yeah,
when it comes to anything,
apart from automatic weapons, in which case
right.
you basically you need your automatic
we are
weapon.
endorsed with them.
Yeah.
So anything sexual in America is a sin. Australians are also very like, you can't do that, and of course, being very British. No, you can't talk about procreation. How dare you? But Europeans are so liberal and open with everything to do with sexuality and so forth. So for them putting it on the layout, it's just a part of life, and they don't care about it.
But I mean, it's with the Aussies, the Kiwis, and the Americans to some extent.
Oh no, the Kiwis get away with it because they just put sheep over all the layouts.
Okay, but no, is it the British influence that is a legacy of that as to why you're as prudish as we are?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I think a lot of that comes from a bearing of religion, that whole sort of that very old school. The church says that's wrong, so you can't do that. And I think that in the Western cultures that are very sort of Christian based, that sort of mentality is still there. Whereas, as I say, in other cultures, especially in Europe, it's just a part of life. I mean, you look at people in Sweden and they're dipping naked in hot springs, and then they're walking in snow. So they go from hot to cold, and they've got the saunas and so forth. The Germans do their own things and so forth. I just think that in European countries, they're just a lot more open and expressive. And there's a lot of Europeans I've met who have got that attitude, whereas the Americans, the Australians, the British, they're a bit more tight knit with that.
Griffey says, Jenny, can I tell you a really amazing secret fine scatter to use, but you must really keep it secret?
No,
go on,
Monday Club.
Go on then. Always for those interested, go to your local fishing tackle shop and ask to see the powder coatings they use to camouflage fishing weights and lures. Use it in N scale. The colours make amazing fine scatter. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different. I mean, I suppose if you boil it down, the likes of Pico and Woodland Scenics and Warworld Scenics, they're sourcing their products from somewhere.
Are they? My goodness.
So no, it's like I happen to know that weathering powders, a lot of the weathering powders, are exactly the same material that is used in industry to dye cement and concrete different colours.
Right. Okay.
And you're just using very tiny amounts of it, but mixing the primary colours that the cement comes in to make the right colour that you want for weathering powders. And little things like that.
Okay, so it's coming up at 20 to 9.
Yes. What's coming up?
The time.
The time is coming up to 20 to 9.
Is it really?
So
Well, time
it's
does
time
that.
for us to start looking at some other people's layouts.
Okay.
In the gallery.
Griffey says, I get my weathering powders from pottery and masonry supplies. Funny you should say that. Yeah, Flamachan says, we won't tell a soul. But or should I say, don't tell him, Pike?
I think we've
Hi.
actually seen this
Yeah,
one. now, looking at it.
Whistle while you work. Hitler is a twerp. He's half army, so's his army. Whistle while you work.
Your name is going on the list.
What is it?
Don't tell him, Pike.
Pike.
It's
I mean, that
fantastic.
for me, that is actually comedy gold.
Yeah.
That mountain over there in the corner is called Duntellim Pike.
Oh, I love it.
So you got,
Brilliant.
because in the Lake District you got like Harrison Pike, Lofthouse Pike, and Duntellim Pike.
Well, with my new layout, not lob, there's two reasons why I've called it not lob. Number one, because the track plan is mostly Bolton MPD, but it's not completely. So it's Bolton backwards, which is not lob.
yeah,
But
yeah,
of
yeah.
course, not lob is part of the Monty Python parrot sketch. But then I'm adding an extension on. I'm going to put a nice big mill on one side with a nice big chimney.
Yeah.
I've decided to call the mill Norwegian Blue because anyone who's a Monty Python fan will understand
Yes,
exactly where
yeah.
that comes from. So it's nice to add those little gems into your layout every now and again.
Just pining for the fjords.
He
Our
prefers keeping on his back.
The one thing have you ever seen the Secret Policeman's Ball, where they did the Monty Python sketch, but Michael Palin completely confuses John Cleese because they're doing the Dead Parrot sketch, and John Cleese is like, "This parrot is an expert, desist," and Michael Palin just takes one look at it and he's like, drags on a cigarette and goes, "Yeah, you're right. There you are. There's your money back and some holiday vouchers." See, and he just picks up the cage and walks off. And John Cleese is just, and the audience is roaring with laughter.
We've already seen this one, haven't we?
And John Cleese is like, "Ah." And I just thought it was the most amazing improv from Michael Palin.
I
I
think
love this.
we have seen this one before. Yeah.
The police will detain you if you bring a kilogram of weathering powders to the airport.
I wonder why. It's like, now, here's another one for you. If you take catnip and roll it in cigarette papers and take that through the airport, don't be surprised if the gentleman with extraordinarily large hands and rubber gloves
Yes.
goes looking for something.
So if you want to be on the no-fly list,
Yes.
well, that'd be horrible. You couldn't go anywhere if you're on the no-fly list.
I haven't been anywhere. But yeah, no, I mean, it's
You've been to Germany, you said? Did you
not
take
for a
Italy
long
last-
time.
Did you take Zabot or Ziblin?
Actually, yeah, you're right.
We were in Italy last
Italy,
year,
but
Jen.
that was the first time I'd been abroad since 1996.
Yeah. I still
Yeah.
love that they've got a Ghostbusters Ecto 1 in there.
Yeah. Oh, well, Claude Hamilton says, I do love that Philip Maddock, who plays the German U-boat captain, is trying hard not to laugh
Yeah.
at that.
Yes.
I can imagine that there's actually a lot of outtakes from stuff like that where they just
there'd
can't
have to
stop
be.
laughing.
There would have to be.
But he's actually Philip Maddock is the husband, or was the husband of Ruth Maddock, as in Gladys Pugh from Heidi Ho.
Ah, right, of course.
Oh, don't try taking marzipan through security. I wonder why.
Because this is
Is
when
it because it looks a little bit like C4?
when I worked as a journalist back in my journalism days, marzipan and Semtex come up exactly the same on airport scanners because they have exactly the same density and
Right.
consistency.
Well, actually, here's something for you. This is not food related, but it is airport security related. I made a mistake a few years ago. I'd come over to the UK for a holiday. and I was staying.
That is a mistake.
Oh yes, it was.
Yeah.
I was staying in Alton because I was on the Midlands Railway for a few days, and before I went to Heathrow on the morning, I went down to Alton. I watched the 9F come in. A friend of mine was firing, so I jumped in the engine. I was on the footplate for the runaround, said goodbye, and then I took a taxi to Heathrow.
Wow.
And as I walked through security, and they go through the metal detectors, they scanned me and they said, "Step over here, please, sir. You've been tested positive for explosives." I'm like, "For what? I'm sorry." Explosives? And what it was is because I'd been on the footplate of the 9F, all the coal dust on my shoes came up as explosives, so I got detained. I'm like, no, and I had to prove where I'd come from. And he's like, "Steam trains," explains it, off you go. So do not visit a heritage railway and fly the same day. You are asking for trouble.
I was surprised.
Ask me how I know.
Yeah, so somebody's there. Yes, sir. Yes. Just bend over. Yes, tell me all about the steam trains.
You've got a very interesting experience with airport security, haven't you?
I have many
this is actually the first time that I heard of you, but I didn't know it was you.
I used to work as a researcher for a journalist who specialised in aviation security. So, was once a real journalist doing real journalism things, and one of the things I did was I shouldn't really say because we last time we flew, we did fly from Leeds Bradford Airport, but I have been responsible for exposing just how shite their security was by driving a lorry airside all the way up to the Jet A tank farm, parking the lorry next to it, getting a lovely photograph, and then leaving the premises without ever being challenged. Thank you so much, Railway Rob. Very kindly given $4.99 towards the taking marzipan in your luggage on the aeroplane fund. A great show. Jonathan's always a great guest. Thank you so much. But back in the day, straight out of university, I was a researcher for Chris Yates, who worked for Jane's, as in like the Jane's fighting ships, Jane's. It did like every time somebody tried to blow up, hijack, or steal aeroplanes. That was us.
You got a call.
Yeah, so like I remember vividly doing things like the Air France Concorde crash, doing a lot of stuff on that. The Lockerbie Pan Am 103 trial that happened out in Holland, covered a lot of stuff for that. Right. And the Coda Air smuggling case as well was another one.
We're just looking at this one over here. On a field trip to Russia, it was on the return journey. I set the alarms off in Moscow.
Not just Russia, the Soviet Union. They would not have been fun.
Please come over here where we start to probe you for not only questions but bodily parts. What are you hiding? What are you hiding?
Yes. Yes. Open your mouth. We come in from the inside.
Yeah. If you go into an airport on a filming job, don't say you're there to shoot a pilot.
Oh
it's
dear.
It's the same thing. Like you should never have a pilot who is called Jack, because if you see me and you go, "Hi, Jack," you will not be on the aeroplane.
Yes.
Yeah.
The pilot's looking around, going, "Who's that muppet over there getting jumped by all the security guards?" Oh, I know him.
Yeah.
So next up we have from Zantec, a message saying, "When I first laid my L-shaped Caithness and Pentland junction layout, and I gave it a reverse curve, which over the time caused a few issues. So I've removed it and relayed the work. Here's an update."
Yeah, so I mean, sometimes that's something that's well worth thinking about, is don't be frightened of relaying parts of your layout to improve running, but also, I've added extra tracks up here on Weir Yard, and you know what? I'm really glad I did. It's really opened up possibilities for running trains.
I always like these. N-Gauge gets so much in an area. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we were talking about O-Gauge earlier on, and if I wasn't heavily into 00 and kind of been brought up with 00, some of the new N-Gauge is quite interesting.
Fabulous, absolutely.
But actually, I think I'd have probably been O-Gauge up here. Probably a single track going all the way round and some signage and stuff. And actually, I'd have been quite happy with that.
As a demonstration, I'm going to just jump that back. As a demonstration of how much you can get in there.
Right.
Look how many... I thought it was...
just a few.
Yeah.
That's an enormous layout.
Yeah, but I mean, conversely though, it can get quite expensive because the smaller the scale you model, the more stock and locomotives you invariably end up having. So, the bigger you go, the less you feel that you need. So by the time you get up to 5-inch gauge, I've only got one locomotive.
Yeah.
Funny
about that.
Yeah, I do want another. Yeah, the price tag. You think Euro gauge models are expensive?
Oh, yes.
Oh, and here's the finished part. Whee!
Yay! Choo choo!
I do like this layout. It looks so much fun.
Actually, there's some wonderful N-gauge layouts out there. Like, we shot one a few years ago called Scarlington, which has been to Model World Live. It's been around the exhibition circuit. It's basically a combination of Darlington and Scarborough, hence the name Scarlington.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the bridge scene on that one, massive bridge, and it's a wonderful layout. There's one by the Huddersfield Model Railway Group called Mills Bridge, which is all based on the Calder Valley line.
Oh yes, and
Stunning layout as well. It's all sort of transition steam, early diesels. Once again, N-gauge, incredible layouts. And then of course, there's that massive one we had at Model Gets a few years ago called James Street.
Oh, James Street.
I love James
incredible.
Street.
Stunning.
Absolutely, because they were at Warnerley as well,
Yes.
and it doesn't matter how many times I see James Street. It's one of those layouts that the more you look, the more there is to see. It just rewards careful scrutiny.
It does, yeah.
And I love it. I never get tired of seeing James Street. I know sometimes you see people saying, "Oh, they're such and such a layout." It's always on the exhibition circuit. I see it everywhere. But actually,
Sometimes
James
there's
Street.
a reason for that.
Yeah,
But
like
sometimes-
Copenhagen Fields is
Yeah.
always on the exhibition circuit, but they're still building it, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But James Street is one of those layouts where they could be at every single show every weekend, and I would still find something interesting to see on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how long you've got; it's not enough to take in all of the detail on that, and I love that layout.
One of the N-scale layouts that I love, and it's not an exhibition layout, so no one really gets to see it in person, is Chandwell by Michael Scott. Because, and he puts all this stuff on YouTube, he's building, it's all set in 1993, but he designs his own buildings. And how he's doing it, he's just finished building Bradford Cathedral. So if you haven't seen Chandwell, jump onto YouTube, type in Chandwell, have a look at Michael's channel, because how he designs and scales down the buildings and everything, it's incredible. He's done the Crescent from Ilkley, he's done the very horrible, ugly clock tower around Saltaire. He hates it as well, but it looks good. The way he's done it and the way he's designed everything, and it's all N-gauge, and it's phenomenal what you see on camera, and when you physically visit the layout, it's so tiny, and what he can achieve in such a small space is incredible. So if you haven't seen Chandwell, jump onto YouTube after this and have a good look at it, because you will not be disappointed.
That's cool. So we've actually got an interesting one here from Simon Trains, who's always got a good eye for what to show.
Yeah, so this is
Syston
Model Railway Exhibition 2026.
That's got to be one of the first, if not the first, model railway exhibitions this year.
Held at the Birstall Social Club on the 17th and 18th of January this year. So
You're barely over your New Year hangover.
Yeah,
My goodness.
So hit the lever. So there we go.
So some lovely layouts here.
That is nice. Again, it just shows that you can actually have a nice little layout within a reasonably small amount of space. I like the aeroplane there in the corner. That's something.
It's good, actually.
I mean, this is like shades of my childhood bedroom with airfix planes hanging from the ceiling. But actually, it's a really good use for them.
I just like making planes.
Oh,
I love
Tamworth
model
Castle.
aeroplanes.
Yeah.
Oh, Simon Train says it's not the first one. Wow.
I'm sure that there's probably
who's earlier than the 17th?
This was also at Pontefract at the weekend too, says SHGP Media. Yeah, nice.
I do like the detail.
Yeah.
The thing about small layouts as well is you can, even though there's not a lot of operational interest as such, because it's just maybe a small yard or a circuit, once again you can focus on the detail, and that's where, as modelers, you can really come into your own. I mean, look at that.
Oh my god!
There's just a few trees there.
Yeah, just a few. I mean, if they got them from Primo Models, great trees they are, but that cost quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I don't know what the channel name is. There's a guy in Canada, and it's a multi-level N-gauge layout. And he's built all of his own trees. It's all in this autumnal scene.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember what it is. If you type in Canadian N-gauge autumnal layout, and the way he's done it, with the way he's done the rivers and the mountains and the trees. Hundreds and hundreds of probably thousands of them.
Wow.
And it's incredible. If you thought that was impressive, I mean, this guy in Canada has just done this incredible thing.
Huh.
I mean, it's a lot of work goes into that. I mean, I met when I was at DCC Concepts, I made several hundred trees for RJ for various layouts, and some of them, like basically come out. Look, these three here are three of the trees, and it's a lot of work. SHGP Media, the owner of Crawford Viaduct, was telling me that he got a booking on the back of the video I made of it. Exactly why I do what I do. Excellent.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's a great thing.
By the way, speaking of bookings and so forth, if you've got a model railway that is an exhibition layout and you'd like to take it around, if you want to have it featured at either the Great Electric Train Show or Key Model World Live, we are always looking for layouts to feature for those particular exhibitions. Yeah. So make sure you always get in touch with the magazine as well. Send a few photographs and a video of your layout, and we could feature it at one of the exhibitions as they come up.
So with layouts, do you tend to like to have like a layout once and then you try and get somebody different in, or do you feature the same layouts multiple times?
Well, look. Getz is just about model railways, whereas of course Model World Live is everything. The rule for Getz is we have to have either featured it, or have it photographed to be featured. Yes. It could have been featured 3 years ago. It could be featured a month prior.
So basically, once you're in the magazine, you're in the pool.
Basically, yeah. So Getz is really a show about what's been featured or what's about to be featured. Model World Live, we could potentially have layouts there which we featured 10 years ago. They still exist. But yeah. If you've got a layout that you'd like to exhibit at either Getz or Model World Live, send us an email to Hobby Magazine with either a clip of your layout and some information about it, because we're always looking for models. We've got everything for Model World Live, but once Model World Live is finished, we'll be working on Getz. So if you want to bring your layout to Getz, it could be a small little 4x1, or it could be a massive 70-foot layout, whatever it might be. Send us an email, because we are always looking to exhibit for layouts to show.
And who actually decides on the layouts for these shows?
That is Mr. Wild.
And is it just Mr. Wild, or does he have like a group of people and they sit there with biscuits and tea and go through stuff? Go, well, what do we think about this one?
Look, Mike does all the planning mostly. So Mike does the floor plan for both of the shows. Mike is the one who coordinates all the running of them and the advertising and so forth. I know that he does talk to Mark about certain things, and maybe Mark might give his 2 cents about what could be good. But typically, because Mike is the one who organises the exhibitions, it usually all goes through him.
Right. So if you wanted to be featured, like, so for example, Minith Tatrus Newith, if I wanted to be in consideration for, say, next year, would I need to drop him an email?
For Model World Live?
Yes.
Yeah, just email Mike Wild. I mean, you've got his email address. Or if
somewhere.
And just say to him, listen, I'd like to come down to Model World Live 2027. Can I bring my 009 layout? And because it's a small layout with a small space, he'll go, yeah, absolutely, fantastic. So,
I mean,
who are you?
But,
never heard of you.
But I mean, does that bring with it other issues? Like, so a small layout doesn't take up a lot of space, but you still got, say, like in our case, 2 operators. And if you have a lot of small layouts, you very quickly have a lot of people who want to be staying overnight somewhere. Whereas if you go for a big layout, in terms of the square footage, it's actually less people you need to service that.
Potentially, I mean, some layouts come with an operating team of 10 people. I mean, last year we had Eastfield TMD at Model World Live, and I think there was roughly around 10 or 12 people there, because the entire thing comes down in a semi-trailer. It's a huge layout to set up, and it requires a big team to not only set it up but operate it through the weekend as well. So it really does depend. But one of the layouts we had there last year, George Williamson, you'll find him on YouTube as well. It's a small little 009 layout, which I think he's actually now sold. I call it the Jelly Bean, but the real name is Corish. And it's literally, you would have seen it. It's literally a small little. It's only that by that. But it's so well detailed, and he literally came in on the morning at 9 a.m, set the thing up, turned it on, and went, "I'm ready now."
Oh, but that's almost like what Minith Tatrus Newith is about.
Yeah, we have 2 trips to the car instead of just 1.
Yeah, and the thing about that was that it was born out of many years of doing exhibitions and trying to decide what made the best exhibition experience for the operators.
Yeah, get in, get out, basically.
So we can be in their setup, trains running, within about 10 minutes. And at the end of the show, we can be out that door like a Polaris missile, and we're gone ahead of the queue of
Which of
people.
course means that then there's more space for taking
Yeah,
down
we
for
can
others.
we can sell it to ourselves by
That's it.
saying that.
Absolutely.
But also, it means once you're in there and set up, like we're frisking the trade. We're just without
Yes,
a care
which is
in the
why
world.
if you ever see any photos that I take of right, we're here setting up, you'll often see that I'm the one looking after the layout because Jenny's buggered off to prod boxes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Prod
Not
with
that-
prejudice.
Not that I'm upset that I couldn't.
Well, there's nothing you wanted.
There's always something.
Ah, you'd only misspend your money.
Yeah. Always.
But yeah. So,
Right, guys,
oh my
it's
word,
9
it's
o'clock.
9 o'clock
It is.
already. So look, it's been really great. We've had our special guest here tonight in the Weir Yard studio with Jonathan Newton. And we talked about all manner of things, ranging from the film.
Yep.
And when are we going to see the film getting a release, so to speak?
Well, it'll get released on YouTube. I'm hoping to have it done by the end of Februa'll obviously need to wait for a few people to finish some of the behind-the-scenes CGI work and animations. But I'm aiming for the end of February, so the people who have supported it financially will get to see it first, and then after that it will be public on YouTube for everyone to see. So,
Right.
But I will keep you all informed.
Excellent. So really looking forward to that. And then, of course, as well, putting your magazine hat on. Not literally made out of a folded-up magazine, but the Hornby
Well,
magazine.
you can if you want.
There's actually Peter Jackson Cheadle Heath did say, I think it's gone off the top. It's like Weir Yard in Hornby magazine. So I'm just voicing what he said.
Once again, as I said to everyone tonight and to you as well, Jen, send some photographs of your lab.
I've sent you loads of photos.
Not to me, to them. I don't. It's never up to me. By the way, it's never up to me. Like, you can send things to me, but I'm not the one who decides. You have to send it to Mike and Mark.
Yeah.
They're the one who call the shots. And if they like what they see, they'll either say, "Yep, we'll arrange a shoot," or they'll say, "Give us some photographs, give us 500 words, and we'll put it in as a reader's layout." So,
Yeah.
if you want to have your layout considered for Hornby Magazine, just send us an email with a few photographs and a description, and we will get back to you.
And presumably as well, there's an element of, you like something a little bit different and eye-catching to what's, say, been in the previous issue or two.
Yeah.
So if your layout is something that is on a theme that hasn't been featured recently, then I guess that's something that is more likely to get interest.
Yeah, look, sometimes we can literally shoot a layout and then publish it a month later if it's something that we haven't seen for a long time. Other times we could shoot a layout where it might take a year to get published because we see a lot of that all the time. So, well, that's naughty, isn't it?
So, right, this is
What are we looking at?
This is
the
as good as I could
secret-
make it.
This is the secret little cameo scene on Weir Yard that you don't normally see. Look at the cobwebs. But that's
Is that a
behind.
euphemism or?
No. Wait, so the Santa's sexy helper. That was one of the fembots from the Great Model Railway Challenge layout. There's a couple of zombies in there as well. Again,
Assuming that these two are the zombies.
certainly the guy in black, he was a zombie, and that was from the Halloween layout of Great Model Railway Challenge. And I can't even remember who some of the other people. I think one of them is what was his name? One of the presenters. Because Model U were involved with Great Model Railway Challenge. They did some scanning for the finals, and so we got to basically have the presenters pose in a pose to fit the theme of our layout, and then Model U just printed them there and then.
That is cool.
They have actually subsequently gone into the catalogue, so you can buy the Dr. Evil poses are actually from our layout. And then this is Zoe's N-gauge little box file
I
diagram.
thought I'd show off the box file.
It looks really good at that angle.
Yeah.
You actually got it to focus. I don't know how you managed to not focus it on...
That was because I was wobbling and trying not to hit the camera.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
There's a close-up using the zoom lens on my phone. So
You've
it's a
got
little
somebody
bit-
pushing the car. I didn't realise that.
You ask that every time you see it. Yeah, I've got a clapped out oak motor, and this guy's trying to get it off the rough bit.
Oh, right. Because that's actually that's the Morris Traveller van that I salvaged off Mill Hill that used to be where Duntel and
I know.
Pike is.
I bought it, and then you nicked it.
Yeah,
along with the windmill.
force perspective. You can have the windmill back if you want. So there we go. Oh, that's nice.
So there's a lovely Gronky mod.
It's turned out nice again.
I've
Ding, ding,
I've
ding,
got
ding.
a load of figures, and it's amazing how many figures you can fit on, and it'll still look bare.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So if anyone
actually,
ever buys a load of figures and thinks I've got too many, you haven't.
there's no well, Weir Yard
Yeah,
itself.
but-
Have a guess how many figures are actually on Weir Yard.
Oh, I'm gonna say. Oh, just a big clump over there. I'm gonna say 150.
It's in excess of 200 figures dotted around this
and
layout.
you don't see the
And
majority.
it doesn't look crowded.
No, not at all.
I mean, like YouTuber Corner's got a few people going on, but then over at the Mill, there's quite a lot over there, and they're just sort of dotted around. And of course, there's a town over there as well with quite a few.
Well, of course, yes.
Plus all the workmen, and it's surprising how quickly the number of figures builds up. I think there's
a whole bunch of school people over here as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
so there's
yeah.
loads over there.
there's like drivers, firemen, crew,
Right,
fitters.
I've got to head off now, so
So the Cupboard Monkey is going to be heading off and firing up Gamehammer Classic Gaming, and you're playing Discworld off.
no, that's on Wednesday.
The Cupboard Monkey's not playing Discworld off Sega Saturn. What are you playing tonight?
Tonight is the all request night.
Can I request Discworld off Sega Saturn?
We can try it out, but I won't be playing it for very long.
Okay.
Because we're starting it for a full playthrough on Wednesday.
Okay.
In what we've termed Detective Wednesdays.
Detective
for
Wednesday.
point-and-click adventure games.
All right. Okay. Well then, can I? What about if I pick FIFA 13?
FIFA 13.
Well, FIFA 2013.
You want me?
Not 2013.
You want me to lose at football on a gaming? Night?
Actually, football's boring, so I don't know. I'm just thinking that she's got like nearly
I'm
2,000
not getting
games.
involved. I'm not getting involved in this.
I can actually dwarf your collection, babe. You have 500 trains. I have about 3,400 video games.
Never argue with a gamer. Never.
No.
So I can dwarf your collection and make you feel better.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Anyway, go on, start off and do Gamehammer Classic Gaming. At the end of this stream, you'll get a prompt to head on over, and your live streaming goodness will continue. But thank you to everybody who has contributed tonight, and a huge thank you to Jonathan. It's always great to have a guest in the loft.
Thank you for having me.
It's actually a lot easier to do interviews in person than it is over like Facebook video and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So I always appreciate people in the loft. And next week, you won't want to miss, we've got James Regier, who is involved with Model Railroad Hobbyist magazine over in the States. He's been at the Amherst Model Railroad Hobby event in Amherst, I think it's Massachusetts.
And by next week, hopefully, he'll have managed to dig his way
Yeah,
out
he
of the
might have
snow.
actually managed to get home. And also, he's a regular on Ken Patterson's What's Neat this week, so you won't want to miss that. Really looking forward to it. We've also got some other great guests coming up, including Simon A.C. Martin is back. He's finally allowed to talk about that clan line model. Apparently, he's been so excited, but he couldn't talk about it for a great many years, so it'll be great to hear from him. And we've got a few other guests lined up as well. So until next time, it's me, Jenny Kirk, saying you take great care of yourself. Happy modelling. Bye for now.
Jenny loves you, Diesel Shunda. In the yard, you're no front runner. Unappreciated, slow and steady. Metal beast, you're always ready. Back and forth with wagons trailing. In the yard, you're never failing. Rusty wheels and engine humming, steady groans always coming. Gronk it up, you're the one who fills the cup. Pull those wagons back and forth, gronk it up for what you're worth. what you're worth. You're the one who fills the cup. Pull those wagons back and forth. Gronk it up for what you're worth. Gronk it up. Gronk it up. Gronk it up. Hashtag not a cult.
So there you have it, and don't forget to tickle that like button. Consider sharing to social media and let people know about the great work we do here. As I said before, I will do a full explanation video on why I left Facebook, but for now you'll have to do the sharing because I don't have a Facebook account to do that on. But there you are. It's been an absolute honour having your company, and a huge thank you again to Jonathan for joining us here tonight. Shortly you'll be given a prompt to head on over to Gamehammer Classic Gaming for All Request Monday. Just click the link and your live streaming goodness will continue. So, just been given word that Gamehammer Classic Gaming is firing off downstairs. So, from all of us here, you guys take great care tonight, and until next time. Happy modelling. Bye for now.